NBC Sports presents the best of the... It's the San Diego Chargers versus the Oakland Raiders. This is Charlie Jones. Dawson. It's the San Diego Chargers. Oakland Raiders. Don Coryell, the head coach of the Chargers. Their record is 6-5. And Tom Flores is the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Their record is 5-6. They currently stand 3rd and 4th in the West. The Chargers won the toss. They will be receiving. James Brooks is the deep back on the return with Pete Shaw and Bob Greger off on the wings. And kicking off, it will be number 10, Chris Barr, with a cast on the left arm. Miami game, trying to make a tackle. He broke his wrist and came back in the game with the cast and kicked the field goal. And we're underway between the two biggest rivals in the AFC. Bob Greger on the return. Spinning at the 17, down around the 19-yard line, and a flag is down. 12 yards on the return. Derek Jensen makes the tackle. So the officials will be sorting out the first flag of the ball game. The line of scrimmage at the moment is the 19-yard line. Ben Dreith is the referee. Illegal use of the hands against the San Diego Chargers. So rather than start from the 19, they'll split the distance back to the goal line. Now let's look at the offense of San Diego. It'll be Fouts, Brooks, and Muncie in the backfield. The receivers, Joyner, Chandler, and Winslow. And an offensive line.
Push in the back. Illegal block.
Illegal block. It is Shields, Wilkerson, Masick, White, and Chuck Laban. So San Diego from their own 8-yard line. Fouts goes right to the air. Pump fake screen left side. It's complete to Muncie. Muncie slips on the turf. Manages to pick up about 3 to the 11. Johnny Robinson makes the tackle. So it will be 2nd down and 7.
Right off, they started throwing the football, Charlie, and they went with a screen pass. 68, Johnny Robinson, the nose guard, and they have to contain him in order to contain that defensive line. Now you're seeing this young defensive lineman, the great pursuit that he has, gets involved and makes the tackle. Muncie did slip on that turf, and I think we'll talk about this turf a little later on during the telecast.
Eric Sievers, the tight end, comes in, so Winslow becomes a wide receiver. And Brooks is the remaining back, and he carries, slips, tackles. He's to the 25, and then ridden out of bounds by Otis McKinney. First down for San Diego. Big play as they started this series for the 8-yard line.
It really is a big play for San Diego because it got them out of the hole down there. Straight ahead blocking by the offensive line. Wilkerson 63, making good block, but here you're going to see him just breaking tackles. And you look at it, it's poor tackling by the Oakland Raiders. They should have had him. They never wrapped him up. Finally, McKinney coming and throwing him out of bounds. But for San Diego, a big offensive play, getting him up to the 30-yard line.
A gain of 20 yards on the play, first down. Slot near side with the remaining back. Quick screen is to Winslow, who's now a wide receiver. And Kellen has the first down, or close to the first down, where he goes out of bounds. They'll mark it out at the 44, a gain of 13. It is a first down. And number 44 for the Oakland Raiders, Burgess Owens, was there. Here's a look at the defense. Basically, we will see the 3-4, but Tusack, Robinson, the rookie, and Browning, the 4 linebackers, led by Ted Hendricks, and the secondary, led by Lester Hayes and Monty Jackson. Jackson having an outstanding year. Back-to-back first downs for San Diego, the ball on their own 44-yard line. James Brooks. Brooks to the 47. He picks up 3, so it'll be 2nd down and 7.
The Oakland Raiders did not tackle well the last time that Brooks had the football, but that time was a different story because they really nailed him at the line of scrimmage, only picking up a couple of yards.
Number 55, Matt Millen making the tackle. Jim Plunkett on the phones on the sideline. Dwight Scales has come into the offense for San Diego. 2nd down and 7. 5 men in the secondary for Oakland. And Fouts will pass. Blitz. And he will be sacked. Pulled down. Jeff Barnes, number 56, gets the sack.
They had them all coming that time, Charlie. An all-out blitz going after Dan Fouts, not giving him enough time to establish the passing game. All the linebackers coming, man-to-man coverage in the secondary. But see, 83, Ted Hendricks, he's coming. 36 is Davis, the safety man. He's coming. The linebackers are there. And finally, it's number 56, Jeff Barnes, who brings down Dan Fouts. Now it's a third down situation and a long, long way to go.
And that becomes the 44th sack of the year for the Oakland Raiders. They, by the way, hold the NFL record of 67 sacks in the year 1967. Fouts to throw. 3rd and 14. Flag is down. Pass interference will be called on Monty Jackson. Charlie Joyner, the intended receiver.
Charlie, I think we're getting a look at what Oakland feels they must do against San Diego, because once again they had an all-out blitz against the San Diego Chargers.
It is an automatic first down, so the Chargers continuing here. Now let's go to New York and Bryant Gumbel. Dallas game. And we have action before the whistle. It was an automatic first down following the pass interference penalty. The line of scrimmage, the Raider 48. False start on Doug Wilkerson. As you know, from tackle to tackle that offensive line, once you go to the 3 or the 4-point stance, you cannot move. If you do, it's an automatic call.
63, false start.
Once again, Charlie, they were coming after Dan Fouts, anticipating the pass, and they were blitzing the linebackers. Linebackers did move, but they're able to move and get back before the ball is snapped. But as you said, that offensive line cannot make a move before the snap once they assume that 3-point position.
1st and 15. Oakland out with 5 in the secondary. Mike Davis is there. Just activated this week. Brooks carries. Couple of yards. That'll be into the 49. It'll be 2nd down and 13 as Ted Hendricks and Jeff Barnes were there to wrap him up.
Ted Hendricks is a big key to this defensive unit. Number 83 looked like he was going to blitz and going back in pass coverage, but he's looking back in the backfield. He reads the draw play to Brooks 21 and gets involved in the tackle. Ted Hendricks makes things happen for that Oakland defense. The problem with Oakland defensively and offensively, they just haven't been coming up with the big play that they did a year ago.
The Oakland defense ranks 3rd in the AFC, but as Lynn just said, they have been doing it with solid defense, but not spectacular. Terrible pass. Fouts had pressure, slipped out of his hand. And we'd like to welcome those viewers who are joining us now that have been watching the Denver-Cincinnati game. This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. We have no score. 11:58 time remaining in the first quarter. The Chargers took the opening kickoff. They had a penalty, so the line of scrimmage became the San Diego 8-yard line. They have now moved to their own 49-yard line, and it is 3rd down and 13.
And they've held possession of the football for 4 minutes in this first quarter. Oakland is yet to get a hold of it.
Double slot on the right side. Brooks, the ball carrier, anticipated well by Jeff Barnes and Rod Martin of the Oakland Raiders. So it will be 4th down, and that means that George Roberts will be coming in to kick. On the return, it'll be number 41, Ted Watts. So the Raiders will soon have their first opportunity on offense.
One thing that San Diego did offensively, even though they didn't get any points on the board, they kept their defensive unit on the sidelines, and they got out of the hole that they were in. The penalty that they received on the kickoff took them way back near their end zone, and they got it out to midfield. So unless a good run back by Oakland.
And a 10-man rush putting pressure going for the corner, with the kick taken by Watts at the 10-yard line. Heads to the 20 and then wrapped up after a 12-yard return following a kick of 41 yards. Wyatt Henderson was there for the San Diego Chargers. We've got a timeout. 11:09 left to go. We're in the first quarter, and we have no score between San Diego and Oakland. Diego Chuck Muncie came out. He caught a screen pass. He slipped, and he has been bothered with a toe problem that he hurt in the Seattle game last Monday night, and was not in the rest of this series.
Looks like his glasses are fogging up.
Glasses are fogging up.
This is a heated contest between these two great rivalries.
Oakland goes to work offensively for the first time from their own 21-yard line. No score. First quarter, 11:09 left to go in the period. Wilson opens up throwing. Lots of time going deep. The defender stumbled, and so did Bob Chandler. They both went down. Chandler, the intended receiver, he went tumbling, as did Willie Buchanan. There was not a flag. So let's look at the offense of the Oakland Raiders. Mark Wilson, the youngster at quarterback, number 6. The 2 running backs are Kenny King and Derek Jensen. The receivers, Cliff Branch, Bob Chandler back in action after being hurt in the first game of the season, and Derek Ramsey. And a look at that offensive line of Shell, Marsh, Sylvester, and Marvin, and Henry Lawrence. Second down 10. Oakland at their own 21-yard line. Derek Jensen turns the corner, gets outside, and picks up about 7 yards. To the 28. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Pete Shaw, the strong safety, is the man who stopped him. Defensively for San Diego, basically a 4-3. Woodcock, Johnson, Kelcher, and Jones up front. The linebackers, King, Horn, and Lowe from bottom to top. And a look at the secondary. Mike Williams back in action after missing the Seattle game. Buchanan, Edwards, and Pete Shaw.
And that secondary has had a lot of problems containing the offenses in the last several weeks in particular.
Suspect, to say the least. 3rd down and 3. Wilson to throw on 3rd and 3. It is high, juggled, and possession. Complete at the 36-yard line. Bob Chandler bobbling it for a moment. Willie Buchanan had the coverage on him. Had possession before he stepped out at the 36. He's got the first down.
I don't think anybody does the sideline move and reception and keeping the feet in as well or better than number 85, Bob Chandler. Take a look at it right here. He is concentrating. Look at his eyes, concentrating on that ball. And he's able to keep both feet in because he was right on the sidelines. He does that, I think, as well as anybody in the National Football League.
The second back is Kenny King. The line of scrimmage, and that's just about it. It'll go for no gain. John Woodcock cut him down. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Pete Shaw was there. This is Mark Van Eegen, now on the injured reserve list. Had a hamstring problem after the 3rd game of the season, then came back about 3 games ago. Now he has a knee problem. They put him on injured reserve to bring up Mike Davis. Boy, they miss him.
They certainly do. He has really been a consistent performer. This is, I think he missed 5 games this year before he went on the injured reserve, and he hadn't missed a game prior to that in 8 years.
2nd and 10, Mark Wilson to throw. Good protection, fires, incomplete. He was going to Cliff Branch. Branch has only 29 receptions on the year, way under his average, but he just needs 7 the rest of the season to reach the magic 400 mark. Bring it back to the 36. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Bob Greger in the secondary had the coverage for San Diego.
And it looked like that was a pass that Cliff Branch could have caught because it went right through his hand.
Speaking as a former quarterback.
Well, anytime you get them in their hands, they're supposed to catch them, whether they have to stick them on or not.
3rd down and 10. Chandler wide to the near side. Branch is open to the left side. Ramsey, the tight end, is on the right side. Pressure. Wilson scrambles, and he is dropped. First sack of the ballgame for San Diego. That is only their 29th on the year. Gary Big Hands Johnson got him. That's 6.5 for Johnson, and Ray Guy will be coming in to kick it away.
Well, that time it looked like that Wilson had enough time to throw the football, but credit the secondary of San Diego with good coverage. He's looking downfield, reading the defense. It is a nickel defense, and that's plenty of time to get rid of it. No one was open. He tried to put it under his arm and go with it, but there was Big Hand Johnson's number 79 bringing him down for a sack.
4th down, 13, Ray Guy. 2nd in the NFL with a 44.6-yard average. He has dropped 20 kicks this year inside of the 20-yard line. High, lazy floater, excellent for coverage. Fair catch is called for by Brooks, and James takes it around the 26-yard line. So San Diego will be moving on offense for the 2nd time in the ballgame. A 41-yard kick by Ray Guy, but he hung it high. We'll be back in a moment. And as you can see, we are high above the action here at Oakland. An arch rivalry between these two teams. Boy, they really want to win this one.
Well, they have to win it, particularly the Oakland Raiders. If they lose, they're all but out of it, even though they looks like they're going to get some help from Cincinnati today against Denver. James Brooks.
Brooks from the 27-yard line is chased out at about the 35, so he'll pick up 8. Burgess Owens was there for the defense. Let's check that scoreboard then.
Pittsburgh defeated Cleveland by the score of 32-10. Pittsburgh very much in the race of running for a playoff. All right, Cincinnati, here's a big score, 38-21 over Denver. That helps both these clubs today. Buffalo defeated New England 20-17 in the last few seconds of that ball game. The Giants, in a big upset, defeated Philadelphia 20-10.
All right, Chuck Muncie is back in the ball game for San Diego. And it is 2nd down and 2. Muncie gets the call.
That's Chuck Muncie, the ball carrier.
And he'll pick up the first down. John Matuzak makes the tackle.
Johnny Robinson.
Here's the final. Detroit defeating Chicago 23-7. And look at this score. Tampa Bay routing Green Bay 37-3.
Gain of 3 yards. First down at the 30.
Fourth quarter score. New Orleans leading Houston 27-24. That must be a big game for former Oiler coach Bum Phillips. As they say, how sweet it is if they could win that football game.
Oh, yeah. San Diego from their own 37, fouls to throw, 4 on the pattern. Scrambles, loses his footing just a bit. He misses Winslow. McKinney had the coverage. Now, you alluded earlier to the footage. We had a lot of rain here yesterday. The field, Oakland worked out, then San Diego worked out, and then the field was covered by a tarp.
But it's still a little slippery down there. You had an opportunity to see on the very first play that Muncie caught the football, and he slipped. Well, what this is going to do to a player is he's going to be thinking about that. And if you think of anything other than what you're really supposed to do, then you're going to be in trouble. And there was a little slippage on that last play. There are certain parts of this field that probably are a little more slippery than others.
Muncie comes out, the white scales comes in. With Winslow, that gives you 4 wide receivers. They do not take too much time. There's still 8 seconds on the 30-second clock. But we had an illegal procedure call. Ball start on Billy Shields. Again, the automatic call. Any movement in that interior line west to the 3-point stance, automatic. 5 men are in the Oakland secondary, so everybody's looking for pass.
Well, when you play San Diego, you look for pass on every down. But the offense has put themselves in a jam a couple of times. That's the second motion by the offensive line here in the first quarter.
Eric Coryell, the Chargers, the #1 offensive team in the National Football League. But offensively, their points have been dropping off. We'll be talking about that. It is 2nd and 15. Pass to throw. It is high, but it is pulled down by Joyner. And Charlie goes to the 45-yard line. Otis McKinney makes the tackle. He picks up 13. It'll be 3rd down and a couple. Greg Braceland was also there for the Raiders. Through the first 7 games of the season, San Diego was averaging offensively 37 points, which is an unbelievable average. But in the last 4 games, that average has dropped to 20 points a game.
They are still moving the ball. One of the problems is that the defense has been on the field a lot more in the last 4 games.
3rd down and 2. Brooks carry. He's in trouble, and he is decked by Rod Martin. Good defensive play.
It's tough to go sideways against this Oakland Raider defensive unit because of the activity of that linebacking core. And Martin is really having an outstanding year. Number 53 having an outstanding year for the Oakland Raiders. Here it is, trying to go sideways. Martin fights off the block and makes a good open field tackle, forcing them now into a punting situation. Oakland's offensive unit will get the ball back once again.
George Roberts will be kicking to Ted Watts. Roberts with a 42.2-yard average. Left-footed kicker. Can pose a problem to the return man. The spiral simply comes from the other side. Watts fair catch. And takes it at the 9-yard line. So once again, Oakland has the football, but they have terrible field position. A 47-yard kick by George Roberts. No score. We'll be back in a moment. A lot of excitement here. No score. The line of scrimmage is the Oakland 10-yard line. Raiders had the ball first down. So far, the game dominated by the Chargers. A flag goes down. Kenny King, the ball carrier. The Chargers taking the opening kickoff. Moving to about midfield. Had some penalty problems, and they kicked. Held Oakland. Oakland kicked. The Chargers got it back to around their own 45, and they kicked. So the Raiders have not had any kind of field position. The Chargers have it. They have not taken advantage of it thus far.
And also where they are located, it's slippery down there near that end zone.
Offensive holding number 65. Decline the penalty. It's 2nd down.
Second down, 11-yard line.
I'm surprised they didn't take the penalty because it'll take them on further back. They would have undoubtedly had to run the football being backed up that far. Now they can get about 9 yards to go.
Plus, we might be 1 less down that the defense is on the field. Pass is complete, coming underneath the coverage, 15-yard line. Tight end Derek Ramsey, a gain of 4. So it'll be 3rd down and 5. Tonight on NBC, It's Bob Hope's Stand Up and Cheer for the National Football League's 60th year. And it runs. An all-star comedy salute to America's #1 spectator sport. An awesome lineup of stars: Elizabeth Taylor, Olivia Newton-John, Susan Anton, Roger Staubach, O.J. Simpson, George Allen, Dick Butkus, just to name a few. Are you on that show, Lynn?
No, but what was it like 60 years ago, though, Charlie, when they started all this?
Well, I was very young is what it was. Football and Laughs with Bob Hope tonight at 8 Eastern Time on NBC. Arthur Whittington is now in the backfield. Third down and really about 4. Bob Chandler, big first down for the Oakland Raiders. 39-yard line.
Excellent throw, Charlie, by this young quarterback, but the reason he had it, because he had time to throw. Number 70, Henry Lawrence, going against Leroy Jones, 68. These are two big men. Number 70, Lawrence is doing the job, getting him near the quarterback and pushing him out of the way. You see, he has plenty of time. He has vision to see his receiver. Number 85 is Chandler, cutting across on a crossing pattern. A good throw and a big first down for the Oakland Raiders.
Lyndon King and Mike Williams finally stopped him at the 39. Oakland in their own territory. Play action, but whistle sound. And normally this means movement by that offensive line. Art Shell, I believe, the left tackle, number 78.
Offense, 78.
All right, while we have a second here, let's go to New York. And Mr. Deans, if Kansas City goes on to win, Denver losing, that the Broncos and the Chiefs will be tied for the lead, and the rest of their records will be 8-4. San Diego currently 6-5, Oakland currently 5-6. Wilson's pass is right off of the face mask of Ramsey. Boy, talk about between the eyes.
Number 55, Bob
Derek
Horn, got his hands up in the air, and it probably impaired his vision. 84, Derek Ramsey, the leading receiver for the Oakland Raiders, going downfield, trying to find the open spot. He finds it, and take a look at this. Right off of his face mask. He didn't see the ball at all. He couldn't have, or Wilbur Young putting a little pressure on the quarterback. But you see the hand going up. 55, Bob Horn. He didn't touch the ball, but he got his hand up, impaired the vision of number 84, the tight end, and it was an incompletion. Al Davis, the man who runs the Raider organization, as you can see, wasn't too happy about that situation.
We have an injury timeout. Art Shell of the Oakland Raiders is down. We have no score. 5:01 left to play, first quarter. Left tackle for the Oakland Raiders has come out with an injury. Lindsey Mason has replaced him. Now, this will be a drop-off, but not that much. Mason has been playing for him on and off this year because Shell's had a knee problem. 2nd and 15. Oakland from their own 34-yard line. Wilson to throw. All alone. Pass is complete to Ramsey, the tight end. Slips the tackle down the sideline. Touchdown. 66-yard scoring play. Pete Shaw slipped and fell, and Bob Greger chased him but couldn't catch him.
Different expression on Al Davis's face. Wide open. Good protection for Mark Wilson. He puts it right on the money. Ramsey making the catch. Right there you can see that Shaw, 44, slipped. He's going to do a good job of avoiding a tackle by Greger, number 43. Tight ropes the sidelines into the end zone for a touchdown. He had just dropped a pass that careened off of his face mask the last time that Mark Wilson threw the football. That time he gathered it in, went in for the score. That has been a problem with Ramsey in some of the games this year with dropping passes, but that time converted that reception into 6 points.
Extra point attempt by Barr is good. Derek Ramsey capping a 90-yard drive with a 66-yard reception.
He avoids the linebacker. He's looking for the open spot, and he goes right behind 44, Pete Shaw, who is a safety man. They have 5 defensive backs in the ballgame. Makes the reception. Now he's looking. Greger comes over. He gives him a little hesitation move and breaks out of the tackle. Tight ropes down the sidelines into the end zone for a touchdown. And for Oakland, getting ahead of San Diego, that very explosive offensive team, is really a big advantage for them, because what Oakland does not want to try to do is play catch-up against the San Diego offense.
4 minutes and 50 seconds left. We're in the first quarter. A 90-yard touchdown drive. John Flores, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. They lead 7-0. Don Coryell, the head man of the Chargers, and Chris Bleier will be kicking off. James Brooks is the deep back on the return. Flag is down on the kickoff as Brooks takes it at the 6. The Raiders were offsides on the kickoff. Here comes Brooks. 35, 40, and down around the 41 of the 42-yard line. And with that kind of a return, the Chargers will probably turn down the penalty. A 35-yard return. Dwayne Osteen and Kenny Hill make the tackle. Number 57 is Randy McClanahan, shaken up on the play.
If San Diego gets the ball, that's excellent field position for them.
Offside on a kicking team, number 35. Decline the penalty. First down.
First down, San Diego at their own 42-yard line.
Number 78 is Art Shell. You can take a look. He has had a knee problem, but this time it's the ankle, a twisted ankle, and we do have a report that there's a good possibility that Art Shell could come back in the ballgame.
First down, San Diego, now trailing 7-0. Joyner comes in motion. Muncie the ball carrier, 2 blockers in front. Chuck has a couple to the 44 where Ted Hendricks makes the tackle. It'll be second down and 8. Brown, Chuck Rose. The flag makers are out today.
Well, you know,
90-yard drive, 5 plays.
You know what makes great rivalries also, besides the players, happens to be the fans of both cities. And there's not a whole lot of love between the Oakland Raiders and the San Diego Chargers.
Bounce, fires. Pass is complete. First down. Tight end, Kellen Winslow. But that can be tight end / wide receiver because Kellen will be operating out of both positions. Otis McKinney makes the tackle. Throwing against 5 men in the secondary. Completing it to the Oakland 43 and a first down.
That time Fouts really drilled that football to Kellen Winslow, and he did have good protection from his offensive line.
Wes Chandler comes wide to the near side. Winslow goes wide to the far side. Joyner's in the slot on the left, bottom of your screen. Quick screen to Winslow. He's going to throw. He goes deep across the field. All alone as Chandler couldn't get to it. He underthrew it. Wes Chandler was all alone. If he had had enough energy to throw it 10 more yards, it would have been a touchdown.
Well, you can see that Kellen Winslow is not too happy with that throw, but he can't expect a whole lot from a tight end who's getting battered around during the entire ball game. But he did have Chandler open. As a matter of fact, he had both Chandler and Joyner down in the same area, and I think they looked at one another trying to determine what that quail shot was going to go to, because that's the way it was. They're fortunate that it wasn't intercepted, but he did have Chandler wide open. Generally, Charlie, when somebody other than the quarterback, you call an option. That's an option pass or run. They are not going to run. They're going to throw that ball regardless.
Both backs in the block. Right on target to Joyner, and he's out of bounds. First down. 24-yard line. A gain of 19. Lester Hayes makes the tackle. That time, Fouts kept both Muncie and Brooks in to block for him.
Here it is on that side. 83 is blitzing. That's Hedrick. 72 is Big John Matuzak. Lavin, 64, is doing an outstanding job on him and sends him to the turf. And that was an outstanding throw, incidentally, Charlie. And the timing was great between Fouts and Joyner. Charlie Joyner runs pass patterns as well as anybody. Because as a quarterback, you know exactly where he's going to go by the way he runs the pass pattern.
First down at the Oakland 24. Brooks the ball carrier.
James Brooks, the ball carrier.
He has a couple of yards. Johnny Robinson makes the tackle. Let's check the scoreboard, Lim.
All right. New Orleans 27-24. They're leading Houston fourth quarter.
Second down.
Kansas City fourth quarter running away with it. Seattle 40-13. The Chiefs leading, and if they win, they'll tie Denver for first place in the West. St. Louis in the fourth quarter leading Baltimore 28-17. And the Jets leading Miami in a very important game in that Eastern division of the AFC, 6-0 the second quarter. That's for first place.
Second down and 8. Bounce, a lot of time. Now his pressure, throws, and I believe was throwing it away. He had pressure. They had coverage in the end zone. Now let's go to New York City and Byron Day. An update of what's going on. The New York Jets continue right now to be one of the hottest teams in the National Football League.
You have the Jets. You have Cincinnati. Those two teams are really hot.
Third down and 8. Dwight Scales is in. Blitz. Bounce. It is caught. Dwight Scales caught it out of bounds, 1 yard line. A timing pattern, throwing it Lester Hayes. It'll be first down and goal to go. San Diego at the Oakland 1.
Bounce going back to throw. Scales, he's looking at kind of an out pattern, or corner pattern toward the corner of the end zone. The ball is up there. He had a step on 37, Lester Hayes, and he comes up with the catch, and they 1 yard line. They got 4 shots. Again, all they've got to do generally is hold on to the football, and send big Chuck Muncie into the line.
Against Seattle, they tried it at the right side. Let's see if this time they come to the left side. Winslow in motion. It is Muncie, right side. Touchdown, Chuck Muncie. And for Muncie, that is his 14th touchdown of the season rushing, as he's closing in on the NFL record of 19 in a year.
By Jim Taylor, Green Bay Packers. I think that was back in 1962. But Chuck Muncie, really, because of his size and strength, was able to bowl his way into the end zone. Muncie is a big man. He weighs about 230 or 35 pounds. And when he decides that he's going to get a yard, when they have to make an open field tackle, he's going to get that yard.
And he took Burgess Owens and Monty Jackson into the end zone with him. Ross Benerska to attempt the extra point for the tie. Luther holding. It's up. And it is good. And we have a 7-7 tie now with 2:16 left to go in the first quarter.
I think the coaching staff feels that the Oakland coaching staff feels that this man, number 46, Chuck Muncie, is really an outstanding ball player. They feel that he could be an outstanding player, whether it be on offense or defense. You can see the power that he has, that he could be a tight end, a linebacker, 235 pounds. He needs a yard, plant the right foot, and now he's going upfield into the end zone. And he was met by 3 of the Oakland Raiders defensive men right there, but he's still carrying it into the end zone.
And Muncie's still playing. That's a mini cast that he has on that left hand. Broken bones are still healing a bit. And he has a toe problem. But he picks up the touchdown. Battered and bruised, but he scored. Make NBC Sports a part of your Thanksgiving Day plans. This Thursday, starting at 12 noon Eastern Time, a special holiday edition of NFL 81. Brian Gumbel, of course, your host in an interconference battle between the Kansas City Chiefs. They're one of the hot teams. And Billy Sims and the Detroit Lions. It's Thanksgiving Day here on NBC. Malcolm Barnwell and Arthur Whittington are set for the return. Barnwell on the far side, Whittington on the near side. Benerska kicking off. 7-7 ball game between San Diego and Oakland. Taken by Barnwell, picks it up at the 4. And cut down at the 14. A return of 10 yards. The ball bounced loose just for a second, but he got it back, and Hank Bauer was there.
You want to know why Hank Bauer is so valuable to that San Diego team? Because of special teams. And see, number 37, Hank Bauer, he is the ball man. By that, I mean he's going for the ball. He has no responsibilities for lanes, and he knifes through everybody there and makes a fine open field tackle, and he's happy about that.
He has his own poster. It says Bauer Power. I tell you, nice young man. He also he makes every speaking engagement in the world. He's always there.
I know he does a lot of things for the charitable organizations in the San Diego area.
Whittington and Jensen are the running backs. Play action. Wilson with time drops it off to his tight end, Derek Ramsey. Ramsey getting a workout. 22-yard line, a gain of 8. It'll be second down and a couple as Lyndon King makes the tackle.
He had all day to throw that football. That was a play action fake. But Mark Wilson was standing back there looking deep. Finally, it was Ramsey coming underneath on a delayed pattern that he finally threw the football to. But credit that offensive line of the Oakland Raiders for providing the time for that quarterback to make that completion.
Derek Ramsey, 3 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown. Alan Ellis has replaced Mike Williams at defensive cornerback. Second down and a couple. Jensen going for the first down. He'll pick it up at the 25.
See, they got Wilbur Young in that defensive line. He's not a newcomer to the San Diego Chargers, but he is new this week. They picked him up on waivers. The Redskins had placed him on waivers, and San Diego needing defensive linemen, because I was talking to Jack Pardee prior to the ball game, and he said he didn't have a starter in that ball game Monday night against San Diego that was healthy. They still had to play, though.
Wilbur at 6'6", 290 pounds. Wilson to throw on first down. Again, time. Pass is complete, far side. Short of the first down, going to Kenny King. Alan Ellis and Woodrow Lowe were there for the defense. But that Oakland Raider offensive line is giving Mark Wilson all kinds of time to throw.
This is the ground level that you're taking a look at. The quarterback coming back there. Wilbur Young trying to get in, but he's being double teamed. And the quarterback had plenty of time to get rid of the football. Gets it out to Kenny King. Here it is. 99 is Wilbur Young. He's a big man, close to 300 pounds, or depending on what he had to eat the particular today, right? Yes. But he's going to be double teamed in there, I'm sure. The center's helping out with the offensive guard.
Second and 4. Wilson throws, first down. Going to Cliff Branch. They'll mark it around the 36. Needed 4, got 5. Woodrow Lowe made the tackle. We have 26 seconds and counting time remaining in the first quarter.
That offensive line of the Oakland Raiders really providing fine protection for Mark Wilson, and he needs it. A young quarterback needs a little more time than a veteran like Dan Fouts to determine what the defense is going to do as far as coverage is concerned.
First and 10. Last play of the first quarter. Wilson stands in, throws, and it's incomplete. Bob Chandler diving for it, couldn't pull it in. And with that play, the first quarter comes to a close. Buchanan and Shaw had the defensive coverage. It will be second down and 10. Oakland at their own 36-yard line. No score after 1 is in the book. Excuse me, it's a tie. It's 7-7 rather than 0-0. Thank you, Leonard. Standings. Denver losing, Kansas City winning 8-4. They are now tied for the lead. You can see the situation that San Diego and Oakland face, 6-5 and 5-6. And they are tied right now at 7-7. Let me correct that.
Next week, San Diego plays Denver.
And next week, Oakland is at Seattle as Kenny King carries. We have some more scores in.
Final, Kansas City defeating Seattle 40-13. They share the lead with Denver in that AFC West. St. Louis in the fourth quarter leading Baltimore 28-17. If they win, then Baltimore will have their 11th loss in a row. And the Jets still leading Miami 6-0 now in the second quarter. Number 74 is Big Louis Kelcher.
Has that shoulder problem. He's out right now.
How could he be hurt?
Wilbur Young.
Big as he is, how could he hurt? But he's like anybody else. If you get hit the wrong way, you're going to do some damage.
Third down and 8. Wilson to throw. 4-man rush for the Chargers. Chandler drops it. Bob Chandler, the intended receiver. Alan Ellis, who's replaced Mike Williams at right cornerback. Williams had been bothered by a pulled groin muscle, did not play against Seattle, had a little slow start here, and Ellis came in to replace him, had the coverage, but he simply dropped it.
That is highly unusual for that man, number 85, Bob Chandler. He just doesn't drop the ball in practice or anytime.
Ray Guy will be kicking to James Brooks. The score is 7-7. We're 47 seconds into the second quarter. It is short. It is not turnover. Fair catch is called for and taken by Brooks at around the 29 or the 30-yard line. So San Diego will have reasonably good field position for Ray Guy. A disastrous kick. It covered only 32 yards.
He is human after all. 32-yard kick. He didn't get it turned over. Generally kicks it with his knee about that far.
They'll mark it at the 30-yard line. So San Diego moves on offense in a tie ball game. We would like to welcome those viewers joining us who have been watching the Seattle-Kansas City game. Here we're tied 7-7. San Diego with the ball. Fast throws, knocked away.
Touchdown.
And it is caught.
Dave Browning.
Matuzak, I believe, knocked it away, and Browning caught it in the air. Unbelievable. When Oakland and San Diego play, you see it all.
The big two's got a big mid up there, batted that ball up in the air. Dave Browning, defensive end, was following it all the way, made the catch. If it hadn't been for Masick, it would have been a touchdown. Here it is. Pouch going back, pass play action. The twos gets a big hand up. The ball is up in the air, and 73 is Browning following it. Who says that big defensive lineman can't catch? But he is tackled by Wilkerson. 63 Wilkerson saved a touchdown.
It's at the 2-yard line. First down, goal to go.
Defense is probably saying, well, if the offense, if you aren't going to score, we're going to get in a position where you can.
Oakland with 3 tight ends, 2-yard line to break the tie. They do it. Derek Jensen.
You don't get to do that too often as a defensive lineman, but here it is. Number 72, Big John Matuzak, gets his hand up right there. And Tuz is about 6'8", and there's no way to throw over him. 73 is Browning coming up with the catch. Dan Fouts on the ground. That is a terrible, terrible feeling for a quarterback to have that happen.
Chris Byer with the extra point, and it is good. So suddenly it is Oakland 14 and San Diego 7, a 2-yard drive in one play. Matuzak to Browning, the key. 13:55 left to go, first half. 14-7 Oakland. 2-73 Matuzak to Browning. That will be a footnote in the Raider history book.
I wonder if Browning was thinking about fair catching that because it was up so high in the air.
Chris Byer kicking off. 14-7 Oakland. Brooks takes it a yard deep. He'll run it out. 10, 15, 20. He'll return it to around the 23, a 24-yard return. Brayson tripped him up.
Let's take a look at that interception once again because you don't see it that often. A play-action fake to Muncie. 72, Matuzak gets his left hand up, bats the ball in the air. 73 is the right hand. Look at him follow that football. He kept his eyes on it all the way. He probably will go to the receiving meetings now next week and tell the receivers how they're supposed to do it and even know how to spike it. He did a pretty good job of that. But I think what I'm trying to say is that Dave Browning is happy.
Just a little bit. That's an illegal spike, by the way, since he wasn't in the end zone. There was a flag on the kickoff. Oakland offsides. There's Matuzak.
Big John.
Raiders will re-kick. Now, the momentum obviously has shifted to the Oakland Raiders. Imperative that San Diego get a good drive, get at least 3 points out of this next drive.
I think it is because, you know, they've been kind of shaky the last few weeks anyway because the defense has given up so much. And now Oakland has jumped out ahead, and Oakland has had a problem scoring, although last week against Miami they scored big in the first half. But you get a team like the Oakland Raiders fired up and get their confidence back, I think they can rekindle the things that they did last year. On the left, Don Coryell. On the right, Tom Flores, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And Tom, I talked to him before the ballgame, and he was kind of uptight, but I can see why, because for Oakland, they must win.
I tell you, everybody's uptight between these two teams. 10-yard line. Brooks on the return. To the 30, 35. Excellent return, great field position. Jeff Barnes chasing him out of bounds. Just outside the 41-yard line. Oakland's field position, their own 21, the 10, the 14. From the 10, they moved 90 yards on a touchdown, and then the San Diego 2 just a moment ago. San Diego's field position, they started from the 9, the 27, the 42, the 30, and now the 41.
They've got good field position now, but they've got to move that football.
Muncie, the remaining back, quick screen to Winslow, who's moved outside, and he is out of bounds. 47-yard line. He has 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. Otis McKinney was there to bump him. Ted Hendricks, as always, is in the neighborhood.
I tell you, with Kellen Winslow, you can do so many things because he really helps. Now here's Miami scored a touchdown. They are now leading the Jets 7-6 in the second quarter. Los Angeles leading San Francisco 10-3 in the second period.
Second and 4. Both backs in the block. Screen to Muncy. Muncy has the first down, just barely. Got to the first down marker under a full head of steam, and then Martin and McClanahan closed on it.
Just drop that ball off to the back, and that's Coryell's thinking. Get the ball to a fine running back, out away from all the big guys inside, and let him run. Let those linebackers and defensive backs make an open field tackle. I think that Coryell expresses it. It's just a long handoff.
Exactly.
To the back. And when you get Muncy out there with people making an open field tackle on him, it's tough.
Bounce to throw, drills it, pass is complete. Chandler loses footing, loses the football. Recovered by Oakland. Rod Martin recovered the fumble. Second turnover. We've got a timeout. 12:46 left to go. First down. Oakland has the ball, and they lead by 7. We'll be back in a moment. Father Murphy and Dick Hinberg at that ball game. Wes Chandler, Dan Fouts. But Chandler lost his footing. The turf here with the rain yesterday, a bit slippery.
89 is Chandler. Gets a step on 37, Lester Hayes. The ball is there. He makes the reception. Now he's trying to make a move. But you're going to see his feet slip right out from under him, right there. And he goes down, and the ball just pops loose. 53, Martin is there. Make the recovery. The Oakland Raiders football.
Oakland at their own 40-yard line. First down. They lead 14-7. They come out throwing. Wilson. Boy, he's got time. Throws knocked away. Good defensive play.
Wilson's pass intended for Bob Chandler, incomplete.
Bob Chandler, the intended receiver, and Willie Buchanan was right with it.
And he threw that ball behind Bob Chandler that time. Plenty of time to throw. You see the pressure is on. He throws the football, but it's thrown behind Chandler. But a good play by number 28, Willie Buchanan.
Second down and 10, Oakland.
For San Diego, they've hurt themselves. 2 turnovers in this ball game. Definitely hurt them.
Frank Hawkins is in the backfield. King the ball carrier.
King the ball carrier. Stopped by Jim Laslovic.
Gain of a yard. Third down and 9. Jim Laslovic makes the tackle.
Big up of 1.
So now Wilson will come out throwing.
Third and 9.
He's had excellent pass protection so far in this first half, provided by that offensive line of the Oakland Raiders. 46, Todd Christensen coming into the lineup. Kenny King coming out of the game.
Laslovic played his collegiate ball at Penn State, and we'll be seeing Penn State and USC in the Fiesta Bowl on New Year's Day. So be sure to join us. Third down 9. This time there's pressure. There'll be a sack.
The difference is that in the passing game, if you're able to put that heat on that quarterback, do not give him time to let that pattern develop, then you've got him in trouble. Big Hands Johnson coming in.
Second sack of the ball game for San Diego.
Here's the secondary. You take a look at the left bottom of your screen, because those men are just going deep and playing zone. The other men are playing man-to-man. So you have a combination of man-to-man and zone defense. And you can do that when you put 5 and 6 defensive backs in the ball game. That's what quarterbacks are looking at today, that when I played, or I started playing, we didn't have that problem. There were just 4 men back there, and you had to worry about them, not 5 and 6.
Fourth and 20, Ray Guy kicking. Brooks takes it on the run at the 30, to the 40, to the 50. Gets by Ray Guy. Excellent return to the 29-yard line. The line of scrimmage, remember, was the 30. The Oakland Raiders lose a yard on the exchange.
No yellow flags now, which seems this year that's kind of a rarity when it doesn't happen. Excellent return.
A return of 41 yards, and here comes James Brooks.
Yes, he is, and he's moving. Now, To tell great, he makes a move on number 8, Ray Guy, who's probably the best athlete, and he slips. Did you see that? That he slips, and this is his home turf, Charlie.
Yes. There was an illegal man downfield. Of course, it is refused. San Diego has the ball at the Oakland 29-yard line when we come back. Of an ordinary kicker, not of Ray Guy. He's having a bad afternoon.
And he's kicking that ball to Brooks, who coming into the game was second in punt returning in the AFC.
And just had a 41-yard return to the Oakland 29. Fouts wants to capitalize immediately, goes deep to Chandler, and it is knocked away by Lester Hayes.
Yes, Lester's arguing because number 89, Chandler, did a good thing because the ball couldn't have been caught by him. And I think he got his hand on Lester Hayes or the ball, and that's what Lester's arguing about. It was pass interference because Chandler, when you can't catch it as a receiver, make sure that that defensive man does not come up with a football. If you can, at all possible, force him not to.
Now, do you notice something there with Lester Hayes? Is that stickum on his pants?
No, I think that he's been chasing some of those receivers. He's hit the turf a few times.
He caused that rule change. No, that's just a grass stain, so it's okay. Second down and 10. Fouts to throw. 4 on the pattern. Drops it over the middle. The pass is complete to Chandler and wrapped up immediately by Monty Jackson. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC television network.
KCST-TV, San Diego.
Pickup of 6.
This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. The score is Oakland 14, San Diego 7. It will be 3rd down and 5 for the Chargers at the 24-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. And we have just over 10 and a half minutes left to go in the first half. Don Coryell, head coach of San Diego. Mark it officially 3rd and 4. Kellen Winslow, first down. 12-yard line. 12 yards on the play. Otis McKinney with the tackle, and Dwayne Osteen was also there.
Number 80, Kellen Winslow, as I said before, really adds a new dimension to that pass offense. Look at him. He's in a position as kind of a wingback. He's just swinging out of the backfield. They're getting 5 men out on the pass pattern. The other men are trying to clear it out for him, just dumping the ball off to Kellen, and he's a big man. About 200. He said he lost weight. He said the reason some of the defensive backs have been picking on him because he's lighter now. He's about 240 pounds instead of 50.
Now the San Diegos have added a 4th wide receiver, Scott Fitzke, but just a couple of days ago. So basically they go with Joyner, Scales, and Chandler as the wide receivers, but Winslow, the tight end, as we have pointed out, can go inside and outside. We've got a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment. Leaded 11 of 16 for 120 yards. He's been intercepted 1 time. Oakland 12-yard line, first down. Joyner in motion. Fouts to throw. End zone incomplete. He missed Eric Sievers, the tight end.
I think he was throwing that hard enough, Charlie, that if Sievers didn't come up with the ball, I don't think anybody was going to, but he really rifled that ball. On the sideline for the San Diego Chargers, the plays are called from the sidelines, and they give signals. There are 3 of them generally on the sidelines going through some various gyrations, and there are some phony ones over there, and then there's some real ones.
Ed Luther, number 11, the backup quarterback. Sometimes the signals come from him.
The trouble is, if it's a quarterback, if you get banged on the head, you know, you might see about 6 people over there.
Brooks, good move. Touchdown. James Brooks.
He did a number on the kick or the punt return back 40 or 41 yards because of his great running ability. That time he left Ted Hendricks, number 83, laying on the turf. Just a little swing pass with Brooks out here. He's putting a move on Hendricks right there. You see 83 is Hendricks falling down. Part of the reason is because the turf is wet out there and the people are slipping. We are below sea level here on this field here at the floor of the Coliseum in Alameda, where the Oakland Raiders perform. And it rained yesterday. It's high tide. And
now for the tie. Benerska. It is good. We are tied at 14.
It's a very simple play. Just a swing pass out to back. I told you about the long handoff. Now here's 83. Cedric, look at him slip because of the turf. Good move by James Brooks. Now the speed comes in, and he's going to jump into the end zone untouched for the touchdown. Here's your spike, just your basic spike. There's big twos up there. I don't think I've pointed at the twos, though, James. Pick someone a little smaller.
And James Brooks is the man who started it off, and he did it with a 41-yard punt return. Tonight on NBC, it's Bob Hope Stand Up and Cheer for the National Football League's 60th year, and all-star comedy salute to America's #1 spectator sport. Elizabeth Taylor, Olivia Newton-John, Susan Anton, Roger Staubach, O.J. Simpson, George Allen, Dick Butkus, just to name a few. Footballs and Laugh with Bob Hope tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC. And the referee left his microphone on.
Walsh to kick off.
5 plays, 29 yards, 1 minute 43 seconds, 12-yard pass to Brooks. And Brooks set it all up, as you said, Charlie. 41-yard punt return, put him in excellent field position.
Malcolm Barnwell and Arthur Whittington set for the return as Rolf Benerschke will be kicking off. 14-14 tie. 9.5 minutes left to go. First half. Whittington to the 10. Arthur to the 15, 20. To about the 28-yard line. And guess who was there? Bauer Power himself.
Bauer Power. You know, he draws the crowd. The last kickoff, he went down untouched and made the tackle. It wasn't true this time. He's going to get involved, but he is met by 1, 2, 3 players. But he still keeps fighting and still gets involved in the play. That's determination. Number 37, Hank Bauer.
26-yard return by Arthur Whittington, just outside the Oakland 28-yard line. Little play action on first down. Wilson throws on target and then juggled. They may call it incomplete. They will. Chandler did not have possession. Buchanan will argue that he did, but he'll lose that argument.
Charlie, that's 2 passes that Bob Chandler should have had, 2 that he would ordinarily catch. Good pass protection and a good throw. The one thing Chandler didn't do, he didn't come back for the football. He left his feet. And he got it right there, but both feet have to be on ground when he comes down. They were not, and the ball pops loose. But Chandler ordinarily catches those kind of passes.
Second down and 10. Four-man rush. Wilson scrambled. And then he'll head for the sideline. And he works his way up to around the 33-yard line. So he picks up close to 5. Woodcock and Johnson were there.
Had a lot of people standing around by the Oakland Raiders that are taking off. 79 is Big Hands Johnson. Not only is he a big man, but look at the quickness. Look at the quickness of 79 Big Hands Johnson coming over and making the tackle.
Boy, he closed it fast, Woodcock, didn't it?
And he's hurting. Last week he played on a Monday night, and he wasn't even supposed to play, but because of the injury situation for the San Diego Charger defensive front line, he has to play.
Third down, a little over 5. Line of scrimmage at 33-yard line.
Going to be an easy 5.
2 flags are down. Wobbly pass, and it is overthrown. Cliff Branch, the intended receiver.
John Woodcock, number 90, the defensive right end of the San Diego Chargers, jumped or moved. Now, whether he was drawn offside, we'll have to wait and see, but he did move, and the flag went down.
Offensive holding number 71. Offside on the defense number 90. Replay.
Offsetting penalties, Lindsey Mason of Oakland and John Woodcock of San Diego.
Number 90, he jumps off sides, and you should never hold now because you're going to have an automatic, you're going to have 5 yards. Even if they get to the quarterback, or even if it's intercepted, you're going to get 5 yards.
Free play.
Yes. Unless you have a penalty. Now it's not so free. They got to go back and do it all over again.
Third down, still just over 5. 5 men in the secondary for San Diego. Wilson has pressure. He throws. Wobbly. Caught. Cliff Branch. The pass was high and wobbly over Bob Greger.
And Willie Buchanan, number 28, is over there holding himself because it looked like he had a shot at it. Went right through his hands into the hands of Cliff Branch, number 21. Wilson going back to throw. Keeps Jensen, 31, his fullback, in to help him. Now the ball is thrown. It's high. Right there. Buchanan came right by it. His arm up in the air, but Cliff Branch kept his eye on that football, came up with a reception and a first down for the Oakland Raiders.
And Bob Greger made the tackle. San Diego 48-yard line, first down. Branch, and he is dropped after catching it. 42-yard line, a gain of 6. Second down and 4. Allen Ellis made the tackle.
Wilson is putting that ball a little high. Here's the score, fourth quarter. Still St. Louis leading Baltimore 28-24. That's in the fourth quarter. And Miami leading the Jets 9-6 in the second quarter. Dallas ahead of Washington. Second quarter, 10-0. San Francisco coming back. They've now tied Los Angeles 10-10 in the second quarter.
First down, Oakland. Kenny King picks it up. 37-yard line. Bob Horn with the tackle.
Kenny King was hoping that he could have broken that tackle because he had open field, a lot of daylight. I was mentioning just a moment ago that Mark Wilson is throwing the ball a little high to some of these receivers, which means you are exposing the rib cage area of a receiver, and he does not like that.
First down, San Diego 37-yard line. We're tied at 14. Just over 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Wilson again with lots of time. Looping pass, far side, and it is caught by Frank Hawkins. Underthrown, Hawkins picked it up, stopped, turned around, and caught it.
Lyndon King, the linebacker, was trying to guard him, and you look at that side of the field, that is the sun side because people are looking into the sun. Play action pass. Gets the ball up. He's not looking for Hawkins as his primary receiver, but the ball is up. That's the sun area over there. You can see by the color of your television set. Hawkins was watching it. King had his back to the ball. As you're taking another look at Wilson getting the ball up in the air, you can see that right there that 57, King had overrun the football. Big break for the Oakland Raiders.
2-yard line, first down goal to go. 3 tight ends. King outside, he scored. 72-yard drive. Hold it. There was a flag.
Well, the offensive line's coming off, so apparently they feel it's against the San Diego Chargers, Charlie.
Offensive holding, number 84 and 31.
No.
They got a
No.
ball. Derek Ramsey and Derek Jensen, a pair of Derricks. Costly hold.
There's an area that you just absolutely, you just shouldn't do it.
Offensive holding, 31-84.
You get multiple choice there, Ramsey or Jensen, but you don't hold down there because you're taking yourself back. Even if you blow the block on a first down and they make the tackle, the most you're going to lose on a play like that is maybe a couple of yards.
So it's first and goal now at the 12-yard line. A small break for the Chargers. Can they capitalize? Throwing behind the intended receiver, Derek Ramsey. Woodrow Lowe had good coverage on him. It'll be second down goal to go at the 12.
They had the blitz on that time. The safety blitz was coming, so it was man-to-man coverage. 84 is Derek Ramsey, and he's having his problem getting by Woodrow Lowe. Woodrow's hounding him all over. The ball was thrown behind him. No chance for a reception. The official is right there. I'm sure that maybe Derek was looking up to say, hey, did he interfere with me?
Carolyn, I love you. Will you marry me, Jody? Jody, want to talk to you about that? Second down goal to go.
Blitz is on again.
As pressure bounces away from it. Throws. No, he was juggling it, going out of bounds, did not have possession. Cliff Branch. Wilson did not go past the line of scrimmage. He threw from about the 13. So it will be third down goal to go.
The official was right there, too, Charlie, on that play, and he could see the whole thing. And I can notice that Cliff is not... you see number 44 is Shaw, the safety man, coming in on the safety blitz. Wilson does a good job of avoiding the rush and gets the ball out to Cliff Branch. Here it is, the end of the play.
He is out of bounds before he had any kind of control.
His left foot is definitely out.
And his left hip was also.
So now you take a look here. It's a big play. The play on first down was really big because there was a penalty involved. Took 6 points off the board.
Third down goal to go. Quarterback draw.
Look here.
Wilson scores.
Go with your best runner. It's always the motto of a good call. I haven't seen that in some time, Charlie. The quarterback draw, and he did it very, very well. There was nobody in the middle.
72 yards of the drive in 9 plays.
Quarterback draw. You're taking a few steps back, and you can take a look at the offensive lineman. They're blocking up the middle. There is no middle linebacker. Now he's going to put his pat and move on, which is just jumping over him and getting into the end zone.
Good Barr will attempt the point after. Second time that Wilson has scored rushing this season. Extra point is good.
You can tell about youth, Charlie. Take a look at it once again. Number 6 is Mark Wilson coming back. You can see the guard, Marvin, 65, coming back to trap. Woodrow Lowe doesn't know anything about number 51. He has no idea that the ball is being run upfield into the end zone because he is playing pass all the way. That was a great call and a great move by this young man.
Saturday on NBC Sports World, you'll see the superstars of ice skating, including Ty Babylonian, Randy Gardner, Robin Cousins, Peggy Fleming, and Dorothy Hamill in the World Pro Figure Skating Championship Encore performance, plus the funny cars and pro stocks as they go the quarter mile of the 1981 NHRA World Finals of Drag Racing. That's Saturday at 4 Eastern Time on NBC Sports World. Oakland 21, San Diego 14. Just under 6 minutes left to go in the first half as Chris Barr will be kicking off.
I'm sure he's going to probably try to kick it away from James Brooks because Brooks is having an outstanding afternoon returning kicks. He doesn't want to get it to him. And now he can avoid it, though.
And did you ever want to return a kickoff? This is what it looks like.
He did it.
Pete Shaw chases it through the back edge of the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
Good kick by Barr. It was a low liner. If he'd have kicked that straight ahead to James Brooks, it might have been a zip shot, you know, to him, and he's back to the 30 before he can blink an eye. Once again, the San Diego Charger offensive unit, as they have had to do in so many ball games, play catch up and get points on the board.
Muncie, the remaining back. Play action. Fouts his time, then pressure, throws, and he misses. Going to Winslow.
He was going to Winslow all the way, and there were 3 men around Kellen Winslow on that play.
In the ball game, Oakland opened the scoring 7-0. San Diego tied it up 7-7. Oakland scored again 14-7. San Diego tied it up 14-14. And now Oakland's on top for the third time by 7, 21-14. 5:42 left to go first half. 2nd and 10, San Diego, their own 20-yard line. Five men in the secondary. 3 wide receivers, 4 if you include Winslow. Joyner incomplete, 30-yard line. Ted Hendricks had the coverage. It'll be 3rd down and 10, San Diego on their own 20.
Ted Hendricks, 6'7", 6'8", and he took advantage of it that time, getting that big paw in there to knock that ball away from Charlie Joyner. He has done so many things. He's come up with so many big plays in his career. And he plays. He's there all the time. I don't know if he's ever missed a football game.
3rd down and 10, 20-yard line. throws. A wrestling match for it, and Chandler comes down with it. Important play for San Diego. Wes Chandler and Otis McKinney battling for the ball. It was 3rd down and 10. If the Chargers had to kick, then Oakland would have had field position, but San Diego comes up with an important first down at their own 37.
Take a look at this, the coverage, 5 men back there. They're just playing a zone, playing the quarterback. Otis McKinney, number 23, was watching Fouts all the way, but Fouts really drilled this ball. And Chandler coming up with it. You can see the 23, McKinney, coming into the play, and that's just a zone defense back there with 5 men playing various zones.
Muncie's outside. And then out of bounds, about a yard shy of the first down. Johnny Robinson, the rookie middle guard, was there, number 68 for Oakland.
I was talking about Ted Hendricks, that he does, you know, he plays, he's there every Sunday, and he has, it's his 186th consecutive game, 102nd in a row as a Raider.
It'll be 2nd down, about half a yard for the first down.
I've talked to the Oakland people, and they say he's hurt a lot of times, but he never tells anybody, never goes into the training room. Just shows up and plays. And how he does play.
Muncie, first down. Mike Davis chased him out of bounds.
All right, St. Louis extending their lead, and they won it. 35-24 over Baltimore. For the Colts, that's their 11th straight loss. Miami extending their lead over the Jets. It's now 12-6 at halftime. They're fighting for first place in the East. Los Angeles coming back, scoring. They're ahead of San Francisco at halftime now, 17-10. Pastorini started that ball game. Charlie did throw a touchdown I know of in the first half.
Earlier, Denver lost and Kansas City won. So Denver and Kansas City tied for the lead in the West with 8-4 records. Ted Hendricks was there for the defense.
That time they stuffed Muncie. There wasn't anything there.
Chuck got maybe a yard. We'll mark it 46 and call it 2nd down and 9.
Wonder what they'll do this time. You think they might pass?
I think they'll put it in the air.
They do that every once in a while. Just get their offensive linemen going forward every once in a while instead of backpedaling to pass protect.
And a man to watch could well be James Brooks back in the backfield. Excellent receiver. 5 men in the secondary. Little play action to Brooks. Then he goes deep. Other side. Joyner. And it's incomplete. Monty Jackson was there. It'll be 3rd down and 9 at the Oakland 46.
Charlie Joyner did not expect that football. I think he was just going out. Here it is, number 18, Charlie Joyner. Now, bear in mind that Fouts is rolling to the right, way away from him. Charlie Joyner isn't even looking for the football. Fouts, all he's doing is just throwing the ball away. Excellent coverage by Monty Jackson, number 42. That ball was supposed to go to the other side. When you're talking about throwing the ball away, that ball was thrown away by Dan Fouts.
3rd down and 9. A moment ago, it was 3rd down and 10. Dwight Scales is in. He, Joyner, Chandler, and Winslow, the receiver. Muncie is in the block. Over the middle, Kellen Winslow, first down. And again, the Chargers convert on a big 3rd down play as McKinney and Osteen bring Winslow down inside the 25-yard line.
And that was a good throw by Fouts, an excellent reception. 5 men out in the pattern. Fouts coming back. He sets up and gets rid of it in a hurry, and he'd better get rid of it in a hurry because the pressure was there, and he puts it right on the money. Big Kellen Winslow with that speed rolling down now inside the 25-yard line to the 24-yard line.
A pickup of 22 yards. First down, San Diego.
You can understand why those defensive backs hate to see him loose in that secondary with the football.
Quick screen. Winslow waits for his blocks. Has it. Out of bounds. Time of the clock. 3:12 left to go first half. Otis McKinney was there for the Oakland Raiders.
Kellen can do some things, can't he?
Oh, yes.
Now he thinks he's a running back. The man is a lot larger than that. He's a big old tight end, but he can move.
They mark it 14-yard line.
6'6". They have him listed at 242 pounds, and he's moving around out there like a halfback.
2nd down, about half a yard to go. San Diego trailing by 7. Chandler wide to the far side. Joyner's in the slot. Winslow tight end right side. Muncie and Brooks the running back. Fouts pump fake. Fires. Winslow touchdown. All right.
You talk about
Winslow got him there. And he
drilling
got the
that
touchdown.
football. Fouts really drilled that. He pumped it once, trying to freeze the secondary of the Oakland Raiders, and I think he did it just long enough to fire it in there, but you had to have a strong arm to get this one in.
80-yard drive in 10 plays.
See how important this football game is to both of these football teams. Don't hold anything back. They must win, particularly the Oakland Raiders. Oakland must win.
Benerska for the tie. Luther with the hold. It is good. We were tied at 7, at 14, and now at 21.
Here it is. Fouts going back to pass. McClanahan coming in. He pumps it right there, and now he drills it. And Winslow is there, in between 2 and 3 defensive secondary men of the Oakland Raiders. Oh, and he looks to be limping also. Looks like a hip.
Bounce to Winslow. 14 yards for the touchdown, an 80-yard drive. 21-21 is the score. 3:06 time remaining.
I had mentioned how important this man is to the pass offense of the San Diego Chargers in the first quarter, and I think that people watching this game can see what I'm talking about because he is so instrumental. He came up with the third down catch, kept that drive going. He had a quick screen out there that he did some dancing out there like a halfback, and then he caught a pass in the crowd for the touchdown. 6'6", 240 or 45 pounds. Makes for a nice target for that quarterback, Dan Fouts. No wonder he's looking for him all the time.
Ralph Benerska will be kicking off with Whittington and Barnwell deep on the return.
Arthur Whittington, Malcolm Barnwell deep.
Whittington takes it at the 3. To the 20, drops the ball. It is loose. Oakland recovers.
He just dropped that football, Charlie. There was nobody around him. Slipped right out of his hands. Probably never really put the football away, and that's the first thing you should do as a ball carrier is put the ball away. But he's got it away now. It's in his arms. It just slips right out of his arms. They're fortunate to get the football back.
A flag down, holding against the Oakland Raiders on the return. So rather than having the ball at about the 24, they'll spot it back.
This is your combination of number 72.
Holding on the receiving team on a run back, number 54.
Just saw a minute ago the combination of Matuzak to Browning. It's like a volleyball team. He batted it over there. That's a lot of times the day before a game. That's what happens. They play volleyball under the goalpost. I don't know if Oakland does that or not, but if they do, the rest of the league should start doing it.
Greg Braceland called for holding. The line of scrimmage now the Oakland 14, first down. Kenny King. King to the 20-yard line. He has 6. It'll be second down and 4. Lyndon King and Bob Horn were there for the defense. 2 minutes, 40 seconds and counting time remaining in the first half. There's a look at that last drive of 80 yards in 10 plays.
80 yards. Number 80 was the man that did most of it. Kellen Winslow coming up with the touchdown.
Tom Flores, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Their record is 5-6. Derek Jensen. Give him about 3 on the play. It'll be third down and 1. Leroy Jones cut him down.
They'll take their time. The 2-minute warning coming up.
Third and 1.
3 seconds to go.
2-minute warning now being given to both benches. We have an official timeout, and we have an official tie. It is San Diego 21 and Oakland 21. We'll be back in a moment. He has a stiff back, and that is his average second in the NFL coming into the game. Today's telecast presented by the authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Oakland Raiders and the National Football League is prohibited.
Might also add that Art Shell, number 78, it's reported because of the ankle injury that he is not going to be able to come back in the ball game.
Third down and 1. Knocked away. I am surprised that they threw. And Mark Wilson, is that his hand?
Yes. Throwing hand. Could have hit it on somebody's hand or a headgear or something. Number 6, here it is. Hit it, the big hand. I don't know who that was, whether it was Big Wilbur Young out there or not. That Wilson going back to throw, and you're going to see as he releases the football, you're going to see a big hand come up in the air, and he's going to hit it. It's Wilbur Young, number 99, right there. Wilbur bats the ball, goes up in the air, and also hit Wilson's hand.
Guy kicking, and it's a short kick. He's got problems today, but it takes an Oakland bound. Brooks picks it up. 30, 35, 40, 45. Pinned in on the sideline. Returns to the 40-yard line.
No flags once again.
With the roll, it was a 54-yard kick, but it was about a 34-yard kick with a 20-yard roll. Kenny Hill makes the tackle.
Mark Wilson being attended to on the sidelines, and I'm sure that they're looking at his hand, because when he released that football, Wilbur Young had his big hand up in the air and hit Wilbur's hand, and I'm sure that he's hurting right now. The doctors are taking a look at see just the extent of the problem. I'm sure that probably what he should do is go get a hold of a football and see how he can grip it and throw it a few times, see how it feels.
Just inside the Oakland 41-yard line, San Diego first down. Brooks with an excellent return. 1:40 and counting, time remaining in the half. Screen left side to Brooks. Brooks, first down, out of bounds at the 29-yard line. McClanahan and Robinson make the tackle. James Brooks, he's done a bit of everything today, including this punt return that went bounding past him.
And look where he goes. He goes straight back the direction he came. He's got a good block right there. Now it's up the sidelines. Puts one move on. Now the speed comes in. Runs right by Matt Millen, number 55. And this is the second time that he's really put San Diego in excellent field position. As I said, the thing that Wilson should do is get over there and get hold of the football and see how it feels throwing it.
Campoletti is in the backfield. He blocks. Winslow holds on, breaks a tackle and scores. Kellen Winslow. 29-yard touchdown pass, 41-yard drive, 2 plays, and James Brooks set it up. He broke the tackle of Otis McKinney and Burgess Owens.
And I say that the defensive backs do not like to see Kellen Winslow coming in the secondary. The reason why is that he's so big and strong that unless you really put a shot on him, he can break arm tackles like a halfback would. Here it is, going deep for the pass. He's pretty well covered down there by McKinney and Burgess Owens, 44, and he just shakes loose. Number 23 is Otis McKinney, gets into the end zone. Didn't take him long, did it? That's 2 touchdowns in a row. The 2 plays, 2 touchdowns. 14.
And just over 2 minutes apiece.
14 outs to number 80, Kellen Winslow. The last 2 offensive plays have been for scores.
Extra point is good. There was a marker down.
Defense, 86 offside. Point is good. 5 yards on
Cedric
the kickoff.
Hartman offsides. They'll be kicking off in the 40 rather than the 35. And San Diego has the lead for the first time.
James Brooks really made a difference in 2 touchdowns with his punt returns. And they, talk about special teams. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it, but it's really important. Now, here it is. Number 80 is Kellen Winslow. He takes it away from Burgess Owens, 44. You look at that big arm. He just swats number 23, Otis McKinney, out of the way into the end zone. Now it's the high five. Now, what's Muncie doing? Now, he's got a bad toe and everything else. Here's the extra point. Comes down, it's low, but the ball is put down. It didn't make any difference anyway because Oakland had been offsides. Of course, the holder did not know that. Luther did not know that. Benershka still got it up and over. Now they took the 5 yards on the kickoff. Now they'll be kicking from the 40-yard line.
Benershka kicking off to either Arthur Whittington or Malcolm Barnwell. 52 seconds left to go in the first half. drop. Whittington picks it up. Drops it again. A scramble for the football at the 25. Chargers say they have it. What do the officials say?
That's the important one to make that.
Their arm is the one that counts. They say no, Oakland's got it. 23 yards on the return. Oh, Whittington is playing basketball out there with it on the returns.
That was a low liner too by Bernerska. If he got that ball cleanly, it should have been an outstanding return. The thing that you want on a kickoff is height to allow your men to get down under the ball. But that was a line drive. But unfortunately for Arthur Whittington, he didn't handle it cleanly. Here it is, a line drive shot, and he bobbles it right there. Goes to the ground, finally picks it up. And he's a fine return man, and it's knocked out of his arm by a San Diego Charger. Fortunately for Oakland, they came up with the football, because had they lost that ball was on the 23-yard line.
Rod Martin recovered the fumble. Mark Wilson's the quarterback, bad hand and all. And he'll go to the air. He's got pressure screen. Jensen. Jensen is stopped at about the 34-yard line.
Call timeout with 31 seconds remaining.
All right, we've got a 28-21 ball game. San Diego leading for the first time. We'll be back in a moment. This is a public service by the National Football League and Rolf Bernerska of the San Diego Chargers.
You know this young man very well.
Oh, he is an outstanding young man. He is very, very special. Oakland from their own 35. Wilson to throw. First down. Pass is complete to Hawkins. A gain of 9 to the 44. It'll be second down and 1. Lyndon King with the tackle. Hurry up offense, calling 2 plays in the 15 seconds and counting. 10 seconds and counting. Wilson will be sacked. Third sack for the Chargers. And for Johnson, that is 2.5 sacks. Woodcock has the other half. Oakland takes a timeout at their own 35. 7 seconds on the clock.
And they're going to throw a prayer shot up now. Throw that ball up in the air and hope for a big play, either of defensive interference. Back in there, back in the pocket to throw. You can see the slippage by the offensive lineman. Number 60 is Marsh, the rookie guard. Loses his man, number 79, and there it is. Big hands Johnson. Got not only his hands, but his entire body around Mark Wilson to bring him down. Big play for the San Diego Chargers.
Let's go back for a moment. I was surprised at the call on 3rd and 1 when Wilson threw a moment ago.
Yeah, I was too, because I thought that they tried to put that ball on the ground and pick up the first down, because they didn't have that great a field position at that particular time. Pick up the first down, now you got a couple of downs to work with. And even if you don't make it, the clock continues to run. You would either force San Diego to call a timeout, or if you even have some intestinal fortitude, maybe Flores would have gone for it on 4th down. I doubt it. Just before the half,
but the combination, James Brooks on the return and then bounce to Winslow, and San Diego has the lead. Wilson has pressure. Flag is down. Now, if that is a defensive flag, we would extend the half, but we still have 3 seconds left. Remember, at the end of any period, a defensive foul will extend the period for 1 more play. At the end of the period, an offensive foul will not extend the period.
Offense, illegal motion, number 81.
I'd take the penalty.
Find the penalty.
What difference
It's
make?
4th down.
Doesn't make any difference. I'd take the penalty, because they're going to throw the ball up in the air anyway. 3 seconds remaining. Just put them 5 yards further back.
Chargers now with 4 sacks. And Oakland, they want to talk it over. They don't want to make any kind of a mistake here. That could be an interception and a return for a score.
Well, I don't think he cares about the interception. If he throws it deep enough, if they intercept it and bring it back, if he throws the ball 50 or 60 yards, and he's got a very strong arm, he could throw it 60, 65 yards. If it is an interception, the chances of returning it all the way are very slim.
Next Sunday, you stay with NBC Sports and see the race to the playoffs. Join host Brian Gumbel, NFL 81, all the highlight scores and more. Then it's exciting NFL regional action. The leaders of the AFC Central, the Cincinnati Bengals, they'll be taking on the Cleveland Browns in the Battle of Ohio. Denver is at San Diego, an important contest in the AFC West. So check your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's next Sunday on NBC Sports. As of this moment, with Denver losing and Kansas City winning today, they are tied for first with an 8-4 record. San Diego and Oakland battling behind. Hawkins, that will run out the clock. So they decide field position was just not in their favor. Why take a chance and going into the locker room at halftime?
Don't get anybody hurt. Run it out. Maybe you might break it. Chances are you won't. But this game is in the next 30 seconds. That's going to determine the ball game.
And that is the end of the first half here at Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum. The score: San Diego 28, Oakland 21. Staff. One key is 2 turnovers to 0 for the Chargers, but the big key is not there, and we're totaling those figures for you right now, and that is the return of James Brooks, because he has been the main man as far as the San Diego Chargers are concerned, because he's given them field position.
2 touchdowns. He put them in position for 2 touchdowns. One he did on his own. He 41-yard punt return. He even scored on a swing pass. The other, he set it up, enabled Fouts to go to Kellen Winslow for another touchdown. So that young man has done his job on the special teams. He's getting a workout because he's also playing in the backfield.
And he took a little bit of heat because of his fumbles last Monday night against Seattle, but he certainly has redeemed himself today.
See how quickly they forget?
Oh, yeah.
No one's mentioned anything about last week in his fumbles.
Well, I thought I'd bring it up now. We have the second half to go between the Oakland Raiders and the San Diego Chargers. It is San Diego 28 and Oakland 21. In the first half, Oakland went out in front 7-0, then tied 7-7. Oakland went out in front 14-7, then tied 14-14. Oakland out in front 21-14, tied 21-21. And then with 52 seconds to go, San Diego took the lead on a Fouts to Winslow touchdown pass of 29 yards for the first time. Chargers leading the Raiders by 7, 28-21. As Ralph Benerska will be kicking off for San Diego to open the second half with Malcolm Barnwell, number 80, and number 22, Arthur Whittington, set for the return. Again, a look at the standings as Denver losing to Cincinnati, Kansas City winning, downing Seattle 40-13. They are tied for the lead, 8-4 in the West. So you can see San Diego and Oakland are chasing them. Here we go. Barnwell. 25, 30. About 15 yards on the return, and the Oakland offense will go to work. Give him 16 yards on the return. Mark Wilson is the quarterback. Kenny King and Derek Jensen will be the running back. The receivers, Branch, Chandler, and Ramsey. One change in that offensive line, that is at left tackle, as Mason has replaced Art Shell, who's out with an ankle injury, will not return. The rest of that offensive line stays the same. Oakland came out of the huddle. The line of scrimmage will be their 30. Now they'll be going back in. Official doing a little housekeeping back around the 4-yard line.
The Oakland Raiders had some big plays in the first half. The long touchdown reception by Ramsey, and also the block by Matuzak that Browning came up with on the 1 or 2 yard line that they scored. That accounted for 14 points. They got to get something established in the second half. Really haven't established a running game.
Wilson rolling. Has time. Young sacks. Throws the interception. It is picked off by Bob Horn. Big turnover.
And that is a young quarterback's mistake. I was looking to see if perhaps the official had called him in the grass with the defensive lineman, but they did not. He threw that ball up for grabs. What he should have done was just put it under his arm and come back. They would have lost some yardage, but at least they'd have had the football.
So San Diego has the ball at the Oakland 21-yard line. Here's another look.
You're taking a look, and he's trying to scramble. Wilbur Young is there, gets a hold of him right now. Now he's throwing the ball, falling down. He's throwing all with his arm. There's no leg in it at all. Throws it right to number 55, Bob Horn, and they've got excellent field position, and Fouts is going to work right away.
He goes to Winslow, and he's got it.
Kellen Winslow, the receiver.
Kellen to the 12-yard line from the 21. A gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1. Matt Millen makes the tackle offensively for San Diego. We'll give you that in a moment as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
KCST-TV, San Diego.
Fouts is the quarterback right now. Brooks is the remaining back, but Muncie will be in there. There are your 3 wide receivers. And that offensive line stays the same. Muncie is back in now as the remaining back. And Muncie has the ball. 8-yard line, first down. It'll be first down and goal to go. Now defensively for Oakland, Matuzak with that last tackle. Basically, we'll see, John, the 2s with Johnny Robinson and Dave Bradley. This is their standard set. They'll do situation substitutions like everyone does. The 4 linebackers, Hendricks, McClanahan, Millen, and Martin. That is the defensive backfield, but more than that, you will see 5 and 6 men in that defensive set because of the offense of the Chargers putting the ball in the air. First down, goal to go. 8-yard line. Muncie leaning inside the 5, where it'll be 2nd down, goal to go. Ted Hendricks had a hold of him.
Well, the San Diego Chargers, a big break in the respect that they're leading by 7 points. And if they get another 7 points right now and they're inside the 5-yard line, that means Oakland's got to play catch-up football. Offensively, all year long, they've had a lot of problems. They did put a lot of points together last week against Miami, but they got some breaks in the first half.
Muncie, the remaining back. Winslow is now on the right wing. Winslow stays in the block. Looping pass to Muncie, and good defensive play by Rod Martin, who came into the area.
He was out there also. Number 83 of the Oakland Raiders, Ted Hendricks, was putting pressure on Dan Fouts. He had to get rid of the ball a little sooner than he wanted to. Had he been able to wait, I think, about a second longer, he'd have been able to lob that ball out there. And in the foot race, I believe Muncie would have won over Martin.
Signals from the sideline to the coach. You notice that they are looking into the sun. That's the reason for the little shading effect. Muncie and Brooks, the setback. 3rd down, goal to go. Joyner in motion. Lester Hayes goes with it. Drilled into the end zone. Kellen Winslow. His 3rd touchdown of the game and his 7th of the year.
10th reception of the ball game. He's so big that he just went down there and turned around in the end zone. Fouts drilled the ball to him. The defensive back couldn't do anything about it unless he tried to go right through him. Here it is. Fouts going back. 23 is Otis McKinney. He just stops right there. He drills the ball. McKinney can't do anything but try to go over him, but it's 6 points. You got Ralph Panerski now ready for the extra point attempt.
Out of the hole of Ed Luther. And it is good. So San Diego, courtesy of Bob Horn's interception, his first on the year, now lead 35-21 over the Oakland Raiders with just over 12 and a half left to go. We're in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back in a moment. Winslow holding the NFL record for most catches by a tight end in one season. That was 89 last year. He had 55 coming in this ballgame. Now has 10, a total of 65 on this year. He can go after the record again.
He was tied with Frank Lewis, wasn't he, coming into this ballgame for first place in the AFC?
Yeah. Whittington on the return. Arthur to around the 25. Phillips was there, 17 yards on the return.
I don't want to say this is a must situation for the Oakland Raiders, but they are down by 14 points, and they must win this football game. If they lose this football game, in all reality, with just 4 games remaining, they're out of the race for 1981.
Could I say it can't be any muster? No, I can't say that, can I?
They've got to get something going right now.
A win for San Diego, and they would be 7-5 and only a game behind Denver and Kansas City. They play Denver next week. Intercepted. Wilson's last 2 passes have been intercepted. Pete Shaw has this one. The Raiders did not have a turnover in the first half, and they have 2 quick ones in the second half, and the Chargers could blow it open right here. And watch for number 80, Kellen Winslow.
You could say the Oakland Raiders are dejected because on that particular play, he was following his receiver all the way, and what that does, it takes the defensive man right to where he's going to throw the football.
We'll be back in a moment. But it was number 44, Pete Shaw, with the interception. The Chargers have the lead in the ball at the Oakland 26. Bounce wants to score very quickly. The pass is a little high. It is incomplete. He was going to West Chandler. Let's go back to the interception by Pete Shaw. For Pete, his second interception on the year.
You take a look at number 6 is Mark Wilson faking to Derek Jensen up there, but he's looking at his head. He's looking at the man he's throwing all the way, and he doesn't see the defensive man. Shaw is right there in front of the receiver. There's absolutely no way that he's going to be able to get the ball to Ramsey as tight end.
And Jim Plunkett is loosening up on the near sideline. Here's the draw. Muncie. Muncie has about 8, maybe 9 yards on the play. It'll be third down and a couple. And there is Plunkett. Mike Davis and Burgess Owens with the last tackle. Jim completing almost 55% of his passes. Hasn't played in, what, 3-4 ball games.
Yeah. The 2 interceptions by Wilson are 2 interceptions that are made by a young quarterback who is going to learn. And now a lot has been thrown on his shoulders this year, coming in for Jim Plunkett after a few games of the season. I think this is his 6th start of the year, and he's learning. You know, it's the one thing to sit on the sidelines and observe. You're going to learn from there, but there's nothing like being in the fire out there on the field.
Pouch throws. Pass is complete. First down. James Brooks pulled it in. Rod Martin dropped him.
Martin had about as good a coverage on a back as you could have as a linebacker. There was just a fine throw by Dan Fouts and a good reception because he was right there. And this year, Martin has been playing very, very well in that linebacking position for the Oakland Raiders.
And Fouts has looked as good today as we have seen him.
Well, with the exception of the one that
batted away, the volleyball play.
But that wasn't, you know, Fouts' fault because defensive man got that much penetration.
Fouts has completed 21 of 31 for 249 yards. Here's James Brooks coming inside, then sweeping outside, and he moves to about the 8, maybe the 7-yard line, where Randy McClanahan finally closed in on him.
You could see speed by that time. Boy, he dipped in and jumped outside, and it was sheer speed that picked up the yardage that he had. He picked up, what, about 7 yards on that play, and actually a man that didn't have the quickness and speed of James Brooks would not have picked up anything on that play.
It'll be second down and 3. The line of scrimmage just inside the Oakland 8-yard line. The Raiders with no turnovers in the first half, but 2 quick ones in the second half, 2 interceptions. Here's Brooks. It'll be a first down. It will be first down and goal to go San Diego. The officials will spot the ball just outside the 1-yard line. Burgess Owens is the man who brought Brooks down.
You see that Brooks is going to the sideline. They're putting in their big people.
Sam Clapham came in extra blocking in the line. That's an offensive tackle. Cappelletti is in. Cappelletti is cut down.
Burgess Owens sniping through, making a stop. He made that hit in the backfield, preventing him from getting into the end zone. What San Diego is doing now, I'm sure, is looking at least 3 shots to get in from where they are at about the 2-yard line. If they don't get it, they can take 3 points, which would put them 17 up. Commanding lead here in the third quarter, 9:36 and counting down.
Second and goal.
Now from the I formation, the I back is Muncie. I look for him to run to the left side. But Winslow shows motion right. They do run left. And Muncie's dropped for a loss.
Burgess Owens, once again, that's 2 in a row. Diagnosed those 2 plays excellently.
Monday night, the Chargers had a problem in this part of the field, and they have it again today.
They're going to bring Charlie Joyner back in. This is a passing situation for Dan Fouts.
Third down goal to go, 5-yard line. Mike Davis comes in, and Greg Braceland comes in, anticipating the pass defensively. Joyner is wide to the far side. Too tight end. Bounce, fires.
Look.
Touchdown, Kellen Winslow. His fourth of the ball game. His 8th of the year, but 4 touchdowns for Kellen Winslow.
Dan Bounce to Kellen Winslow.
And as you can notice here at the Alameda Coliseum here in Oakland, California, it got very quiet because that was a big play for the San Diego Chargers. For Kellen Winslow, 11 receptions, 135 yards, but more importantly, I think they're into the end zone with 4 touchdowns. Bounce back to throw. He drills his ball. Now watch the move by Winslow right here. Zip, zip, bang. You can tell that he was a basketball player.
Extra point is blocked. The margin remains 20 points. 41-21 San Diego. They've blown it open in the first 6.5 minutes of the second half. Point attempt holds the NFL record. That was his 22nd block, either field goal or extra point attempt.
He really utilizes the height, 6'7" or 6'8", whatever it is, and the timing is tremendous. You can be tall, but the timing is the important thing, and he has that.
Barnwell on the return to about the 28-yard line.
Miami in the fourth quarter still leading the Jets by the score of 12-9.
And Jim Plunkett will be the quarterback. And as he comes in, let's go to New York City and let's check in with Byron Day.
Charlie, Lynn just mentioned that score. Jets now trail only by 3. Pat Leahy kicking it in from 45 yards out. The score now in the fourth quarter, Miami 12, the Jets 9. Charlie?
All right, Byron, thanks for the update. Let's see what Jim Plunkett can do. Trailing by 20, 41-21. He hands off to Hawkins. Hawkins is sweep right. No, that's Kenny King.
That's Kenny
And they
King.
sweep him right out of bounds. Willie Buchanan was chasing him.
I'm sure that what Jim Plunkett is trying to do right now is just get the feel. He hadn't been out there under the center in the game conditions for a long time. Just get the feel of the football before he puts it up in the air, because you know he's going to have to throw the football. They're down by, they need 3 touchdowns.
41-21 the score. Gain of 4, second down 6. Five men on the rush. A blitz going defensively. Passes incomplete. Just off of the hands of Cliff Branch. It'll be third down and 6.
Well,
Close to being catchable.
he wanted that first one to be completed to give him a little additional confidence. Plunkett back in the pocket. He's slipping a little bit also. Gets the ball out going for Cliff Branch. Now you can tell by his reaction whether it was complete or not. No, it was not.
All right, back to the drawing board. Third and 6. Oakland on their own 33-yard line. 8:14 time remaining. We're in the third quarter. The Chargers with a 20-point lead over the Oakland Raiders. A win by San Diego would pull them into 1 game of first place in the West. Good defensive coverage by Buchanan as Branch was the intended receiver, and Willie was right there.
He had excellent coverage that time on Cliff Branch. He was right there. And looking at the Oakland Raiders, they could consider themselves somewhat fortunate that it was not intercepted. Plunkett back in the pocket. He's looking for Branch on a crossing pattern. Excellent coverage right there. 28. Willie Buchanan knocks the ball away.
Flag down, holding against Oakland. It'll be refused.
Decline the penalty. Fourth down.
Fourth down and 6. Holding on Lindsey Mason, who has replaced Art Shell at that left tackle slot. Shell out with an ankle injury, and Ray Guy, who's bothered by a back injury. You can tell by his average, only 41.5. One of those was 54 yards that rolled about 20 yards. James Brooks set for the return, and he has been outstanding in punt returns today. Blitz is on. Flag is down.
Trying to kick it away from him.
Brooks takes it at the 22. Has an exciting 5 yards on the return, but let's go back to the flag. A 45-yard kick by Guy. Todd Christensen with a tackle.
He's in pain. You can tell by looking at Ray Guy that he is hurting.
45-yard punt by Guy.
Offense, illegal motion, 41. We're going to kick it again.
Ray Guy's got to go back and do it again. I think you could see by the expression that he had on his face that he is hurting, and you can see the way he's moving. As I said, he may be the best athlete on this Oakland Raider football team. He can do a lot of things, but when your back is hurting you, you're in trouble. There's not a whole lot you can do. Here it is, Ray Guy on his last kick. He's trying to kick it away from James Brooks. He doesn't have the extension, Charlie. You know that when we've seen Ray Guy kick, that leg is, and his foot is clean over the helmet. He's not getting the extension that he ordinarily does.
The backup punter is Chris Barr. Now, he hasn't kicked in a couple of years, and then, you know, that it was just 1 or 2. But Barr has a broken left wrist and a cast on it, so Guy has to kick. The snap from Todd Christensen. Terrible kick.
He's hurting.
He really is.
You can see him walking off the field that Ray Guy is hurting.
Out of bounds, San Diego 41-yard line, a kick of 31 yards.
Watch his extension. See if he gets any extension at all. No, he's not nearly what we are accustomed to seeing Ray Guy do.
We'll be back. First half, James Brooks had a total offense, personally, returns and receptions and rushing of more than 200 yards.
And he set up a couple of touchdowns in that first half, and right now, San Diego kind of has things going their way.
Chris Barr, the backup punter who you saw there for a moment with that cast, as Ray Guy is hurting.
Did we mention
slipping and sliding?
That the field is a problem down here? There's been a lot of slipping on the entire ball game, and it's due to the fact, I think, that it rained yesterday. And although they didn't put the tarp on the field after the practice, it had been wet, and there was no way really to get it dry. And there's no drainage. The drainage problem here, you're below sea level, and you don't have the crown in the center that a lot of fields have, where you get good drainage.
Mark Wilson there with the jacket on. Not a bad first half, but a disastrous start in the second half. And Fouts now checks the defense and he doesn't like what he sees. They're the seagulls that are swarming over the stadium here.
They're not vultures. Huh?
They're not vultures. No, not yet, anyway. We've got a timeout. 7:06 left to go. Third quarter. And San Diego has the lead. They're out in front by 20 points. On their own 42-yard line. Second down and 9. Winslow in motion. Winslow with 4 touchdowns in the ball game. Looping pass away from Winslow, and it is incomplete, going to Charlie Joyner. Lester Hayes had excellent coverage on it. Let's check the scoreboard there.
We're looking at the 4 o'clock games. In the fourth quarter, Miami leading the Jets 12-9. That's for first place in the AFC East. Also a 4 o'clock game, Dallas leading Washington 17-10 in the fourth quarter.
Look at that.
San Francisco coming back. They're now leading Los Angeles by the score of 27-24 in the fourth quarter. I keep saying 4 o'clock. I mean 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
At 1 o'clock on the West Coast. 5 men in the secondary for Oakland. Third down and 9. Brooks. First down. James Brooks. Monty Jackson makes the tackle. If he keeps going, he's going to have 300 yards in total offense.
Speed. That was it. Speed and quickness. You know, last week I saw Joe Delaney of Kansas City, and Brooks reminds me of him, because right now he's accelerating. Now the speed comes in, and he's just outrunning people and getting the first down.
Number 1 draft choice from Auburn, 5'9", 180 pounds.
The only concern I think that they would have, I know he's tough, but at 180 pounds, you know, how much can you absorb as far as a pounding is concerned?
Screen left side to Brooks, and he gets another bounce. He goes out of bounds, far sideline.
I know what it is. On Mondays he is sore, and he gives the Whirlpool a visit. I'm sure of that.
Rod Martin and Monty Jackson were there for the defense.
He's had quite an afternoon. all around. Receiving the football, he scored a touchdown on a reception.
Set up 2 touchdowns with his return with the field position that he gave the Chargers.
Now he's doing something that San Diego loves, is moving the ball on the ground, which means that they're eating up that clock with a 20-point lead.
Come out and take a breather. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Doing what he wants to do.
Muncie, 2nd down and 2. Out of bounds, first down.
Chuck Muncie forced out of bounds.
Rod Martin, again, was there for the Oakland Raider defense. 34-yard line. He got 5, so it'll be first down.
First down at the 34.
Taking a look at Oakland's defense and how they're moving around out there. They don't have the spark that they had in the first half. You can just tell by the way they're moving out there.
And this is a good defense, 3rd in the conference, against the #1 offense in the National Football League. And the Chargers right now are moving at will. Actually, they're moving at the Raider defense, not at will.
They don't have any will over there. Willie Jones, he's not in.
Joyner in motion. Once he tries the right side, slips a tackle. And he'll lose a yard as Otis McKinney was there.
McKinney making the stop.
Good hard hit by 23, Otis McKinney. And he's giving away a lot of pounds to Chuck Muncie. Muncie's about 235 pounds. McKinney is not quite that large. See, McKinney is about 185 pounds. Something has to happen for Oakland. They've got to get a break. They've got to get a turnaround. 5 minutes and 37 seconds counting down in this 3rd quarter. They need something right away.
2nd and 11. Joyner in motion, a little skip step. Slow handoff to Muncie, but he breaks a couple of tackles and manages to pick up about 4 on the play.
And it's a good thing that Otis McKinney once again did get a hold of his shoe or his ankle to bring him down, because big Chuck Muncie, when he gets into the open at 235 pounds, he has the speed to run away from those defensive backs, so they do not want to see him in the open field.
3 wide receivers as Dwight Scales comes in. 34-yard line, 3rd down and 9. Muncie the remaining back, but it's a passing formation. Chandler in motion. 5 men on the pattern. Pass is complete to Scales. Scales to the 20, has a block. To about the 15-yard line, first down. Monty Jackson with the tackle. That is the 18th first down in the ball game for the San Diego Chargers.
And they have really been doing a great job on 3rd down situations. Here it is. Good pass protection for Dan Fouts. He fires the ball to Scales, hits him right on the numbers. Now this young man has some speed also, and he's outrunning some people. Chuck Muncie coming back into the play right there with a block. Another first down for the San Diego Chargers.
A gain of 18 for Dwight Scales. 15-yard line, first down. Joyner in motion. Brooks, the remaining back.
James Brooks, the ball.
Boy, he goes inside just as tough as he goes outside.
I was saying that, but 180 pounds, how long can you absorb the punishment?
Robinson and Martin with the tackle. 12-yard line, gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Total offense, Chargers 373 to 208 for the Raiders. And you recall at halftime we said with the statistics, not much difference one way or another, with the exception of 2 things: the turnovers and James Brooks' kick returns or punt returns. But the Chargers have dominated the second half, or I should say the 3rd quarter. We still have 3:55 in the 3rd quarter.
Brooks sweep left side, cuts back in.
James Brooks again, the ball carrier. Randy McClanahan.
9-yard line, he picks up 3. It'll be 3rd down and 4. McClanahan and McKinney were there for Oakland. Now with San Diego staying on the ground, even though there's a lot of time remaining in the game, a total of 18.5 minutes, they are using up a lot of the clock.
Yes, sir, and Oakland's got to score 3 touchdowns.
Dan Fouts, the canny one, will use all of the 30-second clock each time out. In zone, knocked away. Good defensive play by Monty Jackson, going to Joyner. Jackson, an excellent coverage.
We got a flag down on the play over on the far sideline, but that was good coverage by Monty Jackson. Dan Fouts was just throwing that ball away. Look out.
Automatic first down. Personal foul against the Oakland Raiders.
One thing they didn't need at that stage of this game in the territory that they're in, because you're in.
That's a personal foul, number 57 on the defense. That's a first down.
Personal foul on Randy McClanahan. 4-yard line, first down, goal to go. This is the 12th play of this drive. Muncie on the draw, looks for an opening. It's not there. Defense closed him down, and Howard Long, the rookie from Villanova, taken in the second round of the draft, made the tackle.
They spread out the defense with Kellen Winslow split out wide, and the other receivers out wide the other side, hoping that Chuck Muncie could find an opening. But right now, they would love to get 7 points, but 3 points are very, very important. It would take 3 touchdowns and a field goal to overtake the San Diego Chargers if they get 3. But if they give Chuck Muncie any seam at all, they're going to get 6.
Second down, goal to go. Fouts to throw. Hit as he throws. They'll root it an incomplete pass, and Fouts is down.
He really got nailed by Martin.
Rod Martin.
The linebacker came blitzing in, blindsided him. Fouts had no idea he was coming.
The wave to the sideline, that's for the coaching staff to know that he's okay.
Take a look. Fouts going back, looking to his right. 53, no one touches him. Fouts has no idea, and this hurts right in the small of the back as he's releasing the football, and you can see what happens to the football.
Now, something interesting. Let's save that, because that pass was a backward pass. But they go back to the line of scrimmage. Third down, goal to go. Fouts drills this one to Charlie Joyner. Touchdown.
Beautiful throw. Beautiful shot. Really threaded that ball in there. Just a quick slant by Charlie Joyner. Fouts drilled that ball between at least 2 defensive men, maybe 3. Right on target. Here it is. Dan Fouts back, takes a couple of steps and fires that ball. And as you can see, Charlie Joyner is open. He beat Lester Hayes by a step. And they've got 6 points on the board. 47 points so far for the San Diego Chargers with 2:22 remaining in this third quarter.
Benerska's extra point attempt is good. So the Chargers have blown it open. It is San Diego out in front, 48-21. We'll be back in a moment. Fouts has thrown 6 touchdown passes, and that is a new San Diego Charger record. Previous record was held by John Hadle.
John Hadle, now coaching at the University of Kansas, and there's 2:20 remaining in the third quarter. Fouts may not be through yet.
Whittington on the return.
Fumble.
A fumble, and San Diego comes up with a football. The Chargers have the ball. Ray Preston battling inside the 5. Let's see where the officials will mark the ball.
They may bring it
They may
back.
say that Oakland has it as the Oakland offense comes out. The line of scrimmage is the 22. It will be Oakland's ball.
When things go bad, they really go bad.
Or when they go good, they really go good.
It depends on which side of the field you're looking at.
That's
They're
true.
going very good for San Diego.
Gene Klein now relaxing in his beautiful home, watching on that big screen television of his. Plunkett goes to work. Outside to Kenny King. And he goes out at the 29-yard line. He has 7. It'll be second down and 3. Woodrow Lowe was chasing him. Now, that backward pass, which was the end result of the blitz by Rod Martin and Lynn Willig.
You take a look at Martin's going to nail him, but this is a touchdown pass to Charlie Joyner that he drills in there.
Mark went up for the truck. They're -1.
Yeah, but Mark went up for number 18.
Oh, yeah.
What a great receiver he has been. You know, and he
34 years old.
doesn't miss games either. Charlie Joyner is there every Sunday.
Second and 3, going for the first down. It'll be close. Kenny King, the ball carrier. Now let's go back to that blitz by Rod Martin.
53. Rod Martin coming in. Fouts doesn't see him. The ball is going forward. He's trying to throw it forward. He gets hit, but the ball actually ends up behind him like it would be a lateral, but they say his arm was in motion. forward.
That's the reason he went back to the line of scrimmage and not where the backward pass went out of bounds at the 20. It is a first down. 32-yard line. 1:26 and counting. Time remaining third quarter. Plunkett. Right side. Pass is complete to Jensen, and he's out of bounds.
Pass complete to Derek Jensen.
Lyndon King wrapped him up in front of the Charger bench, and let's check the scoreboard.
Out at the 39.
We've got Miami extending their lead over the Jets. It's now 15-9. It's in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 3.
San Francisco ahead of Los Angeles 30-24, also in the fourth quarter.
And here the score is San Diego 48, Oakland 21, and we're in the third quarter. Minute 20 left to go.
You had mentioned early in the telecast that they had averaged 37 points a game for the first 7 games when their productivity went down, but not this afternoon.
Not today.
Pete Shaw made the stop.
Jensen with the carry. Leroy Jones. Pete Shaw cut him down.
But it's a Raiders.
It is a first down at the 44-yard line.
Gain of 5 yards on that play.
A gain of 5 on the last play. That is the first down in the second half for the Oakland Raiders.
The first down.
Took them 14 minutes.
The 2 interceptions really killed them. Put 14 points on the scoreboard for the San Diego Chargers.
Plunkett to throw. One back in the block as a blitz. Goes deep. Coverage. Good catch by Derek Ramsey. He will be down at the 14-yard line of San Diego. Pete Shaw with a tackle.
You mentioned coverage. What it was, they were doubling the outside receivers and having single coverage. Look at this man in the bottom of your screen running to the outside. That means it's man-to-man in the middle. Shaw is trying to cover number 84, Ramsey. It was an outstanding throw and an outstanding catch by Ramsey.
Perfect pass. It covered 42 yards.
44 yards.
And that is the end of the third quarter. The score is San Diego 48, Oakland 21. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Roger Harbaugh. Roger, would you turn around just a moment? I see the back of his shirt. I'm not Corey Leibel. I'm the other guy. I love it. That's a great shirt. Thank you, Sal. San Diego 14-yard line. Oakland can get back in the ball again. They can open the door just a little. Flags down. San Diego offside. Free play. Kenny King. To about the 8-yard line. Woodrow Lowe with the tackle.
Kenny King is not getting up. I don't know. I think when he went down there, he must have taken a shot in the ribs or something. Now he's all right. He's up. He's not all right. He's hurting. Everybody out there is hurting, though.
Derek Ramsey, the tight end for the Oakland Raiders, has 4 receptions for 122 yards, a touchdown. Kellen Winslow, tight end / wide receiver for San Diego, also man in motion. 11 receptions, 135 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
The tight ends
Defense was offside. First down.
The tight ends in this football game have been outstanding. 66-yard touchdown reception by Derek Ramsey in the first quarter.
First and 5.
I remember
he caught that 42-yard reception just a moment ago into the third.
Tight ends never used to do that. They were big blocking tackles that were in there for the running game. They probably got tired of hearing it. Said that they've been soaking their hands in salt water all this time, getting loose. Wilbur Young.
Whittington is wrapped up by Wilbur.
Big Will.
Loss of a couple.
Here it is. Handoff trying to go wide. Wilbur Young shot the gap, and he is there wrapping up the running back, putting him to the turf.
Wilbur acquired this week from the Redskins, replacing Louis Kelcher, that shoulder bothering him again.
2nd and 7.
I remember when Wilbur broke into he broke in with Kansas City when I was there. Got a William Penn College up in Iowa.
Plunkett to throw. Looks it, has a man there, and he overthrows him. It was Todd Christensen, and he was open. Got behind Pete Shaw.
Had a step. Had the ball been there, it would have been 6 points for the Raiders. They need 6 points desperately.
So it's 3rd down and 7, 11-yard line.
Plunkett going. He's getting some pressure from Woodcock. He's got to get rid of the football, and he does. And you can see right there that Todd Christensen does have a step or so on number 44, Pete Shaw, the safety man. Just off the fingertip. Gene Upshaw.
The captain.
Oh, what a great career he has had.
15th year. Plunkett with pressure. He's throwing this one away.
Plunkett's pass intended for Derek Ramsey.
Derek Ramsey, the closest receiver. Wilbur Young again putting the pressure on.
Wilbur fired up today. He's been
Yes,
in there.
he is.
He's had a rest, I guess, since been released by the Washington Redskins. He's ready. Wilbur played the outside as a defensive end for many years, and in San Diego, they cut him. They brought him back, and they put him on the inside, and he had an all-pro career, or a year here a couple of years ago in the inside position when Louis Kelcher was out for the year with I believe it was a knee operation.
Right. Jerry Pope. Jerry Smith, they call him the Pope. I'm sorry. That's his nickname. Defensive coach, San Diego. 4th down and 7. Boy, those nicknames can haunt you. They're all receivers. There's not a remaining back. 4th and 7. Flag is down. The pass is thrown away. Maybe been movement by an offensive lineman. That'll simply stop the play.
False start on the offense before the snap.
That's what it is.
65.
On Mickey Marvin, that's an automatic call. They just stopped the play.
The only problem is, not a whole lot of difference.
Look at this, Leonard, at Shea Stadium. 16-15, the Jets in front of Miami.
Richard Todd to Jerome Barkham, 12 yards and a touchdown, and they are leading with 16 seconds to go, 16-15.
There it is.
4th quarter.
Every
16
Sunday we always say somebody's for real. Cincinnati's for real, well, the Jets are for real.
This is for first place.
The battle here today is for 3rd. But a Charger victory, they'd only be a game out. Plunkett his time. Now pressure. He throws in zone. Almost pulled in. Ever so close. Todd Christensen. Pass was high to go above the defender, Lyndon King. Christensen could not quite pull it down.
Leroy Jones, big defensive left end for the San Diego Chargers, had a hold of Jim Plunkett. He did a great job of getting rid of the football. It's almost a great catch. Gets one hand on it, but couldn't come down with it.
So the Chargers take over on downs. 48-21, San Diego in front. 13:54 left to go. Troy, Father Murphy, and Dick Enberg.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen his new show, Father Murphy?
Excellent.
Excellent. Isn't it great?
Yes, it is.
Doing very well in the ratings and a super show.
And he's going to be able to see Joe Delaney and Billy Sims.
Oh,
Two
yes.
outstanding runners in the National Football League.
All right, San Diego goes to work their own 16. Bounce drops it off to Brooks. Brooks just sheds the tackler off his shoulders and picks up a couple of yards.
Yes, he is going to be sore tomorrow because he's done a great job this afternoon. Number 21, James Brooks, but he's been taking a few licks out there.
Matt Millen makes the tackle. 18-yard line, 2nd down 8. It is now a final score. 16-15, the Jets win it.
Here it is in the Eastern Division. The Jets in Miami tied 7-4-1. Buffalo right behind him with a 7-5 record.
James Brooks. James Brooks is still on his feet. Robinson made the stop, though. They blew the play dead at the 22-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Taking a look at these games, I know that they're tied, Miami and the Jets, but really the Jets are ahead because they tied Miami before. Kansas City really is ahead because they've got more victories in their division than either Denver. Of course, San Diego, if they win this one, looks like they are, they're going to be a game behind.
A few fans are making an early flight. Here's the draw, Brooks. 1st down. James Brooks having an unbelievable afternoon. He does a little bit of everything. Matt Millen makes the tackle.
Here it is. Draw play. Brooks, anywhere that he can find a hole. There isn't any there. He simply outruns the linebacker, Ted Hendricks, number 83, puts a good move on the cornerback and picks up the 1st down.
Gain of 13, 1st down.
I'm really impressed with this young man. He's done an outstanding job. in many categories today. He's a fine receiver. He's an outstanding punt returner. He's a great runner when he gets his hands on that football in the backfield.
And he'll run inside, too. A reverse to Muncie.
They didn't
fool anybody. Chuck got back to the line of scrimmage. That was about it. Robinson and Millen on the tackle.
I wonder if James Brooks can throw the football. I haven't seen him do that. You know, if he comes up with that, then he'd have to go in to see
well, there's the man.
Mr. Klein for a raise if he can throw the football.
Mark it a gain of 1 yard, 36. Second down and 9. 11:24 and counting. Time remaining.
We found out that Kellen Winslow can throw, but not as well as
But not as far as he wants to. That's right. But he can catch it. He caught 4 touchdown passes. Fouts has thrown 6 touchdown passes in the ballgame. This may be as good as the Chargers have looked since the opening game against Cleveland. He's throwing this one away.
Oh, he wasn't. He was looking for his tight end. The big Ted Hendricks was down there.
That's Ted Hendricks.
Ted Hendricks knocking it away from Eric Sievers. I thought he was going to throw it away because he had a lot of pressure.
Well, you have to throw it high when you got Ted Hendricks down there. Here it is. Fouts going back. He looks to his right, then to his left, and he's just throwing it high and far and hoping to get it up over Ted Hendricks. But as I said, you've got to throw it very high and far.
Very far.
To get it over Ted.
Third down and 9. 11:05 left to go. Brooks is now the remaining back. Fouts has pressure, waves deep.
That one he's throwing away.
Dwight Scales was the closest receiver.
Intended for Dwight Scales.
Otis McKinney had the coverage.
Fourth down.
So George Roberts will come in to kick to Ted Watts. Time remaining 10:58.
Ted Watts needs to receive.
It's awfully quiet here now, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But it is not quiet in San Diego. Had quite a bit of fan reaction to that Monday night game, I'll tell you.
I would imagine that
A friend of mine named Sean burned his $14 T-shirt, and another friend was throwing his shoes at the television set.
Yes, but you have some strange friends.
I know. Good kick with some pressure. But the fans will all be back for the Denver game next week. Hank Bauer is down very quickly to down the ball at the 22-yard line. 10 minutes, 49 seconds left to go. A 42-yard kick. Oakland will be on offense, and we'll be back in a moment. For them, the record would be 5-7. 7 losses. You will not make the playoffs this year.
No, and they knew that. That's why the pressure was really on the Oakland Raiders, much more so than San Diego, because Oakland, they knew that they had to win all of their remaining games to have any hope whatsoever of making the playoffs.
Plunkett just drops it over the middle to Derek Jensen.
Plunkett's pass complete to Derek Jensen.
Jensen from the 22-yard line just across the 30. Lyndon King with the tackle.
Oakland should get into a 2-minute offense right now. You know, you've got 10:30 and counting down in this football game. And they are 27 points back.
A bundle. Look at the San Diego defense. 3 men dropping about 50 yards deep from where Plunkett sets up, throwing underneath to Jensen.
I don't think he can throw it that far, but he can throw it over their heads.
Lyndon King with the tackle.
What I'm saying, the 2-minute offense right now, because just line up and start going and throw the football. Keep shuttling in receivers to keep them as fresh as you possibly can.
First down, 38-yard line. 9:50 and counting. Time remaining. 48-21. San Diego out in front. 7-7 first quarter. 28-21 San Diego at half. And then 48-21 after the third. Flag is down. Pass is complete. First down. That is Raymond Chester, and Chester is out of bounds. And we would like to welcome those viewers that have just joined us. Chargers and Raider football game here in progress. Still going on. Around 9.5 minutes left to go. It is San Diego 48, Oakland 21. And a program note that chips will be seen immediately following the conclusion of the NBC football coverage.
They're bringing that pass play back that Raymond Chester caught. I think I saw Lindsey Mason, number 71, the offensive left tackle, jumping up and down. And I'm assuming
Holding
it's on him.
offense, number 71.
You're right.
There's the reason why, yes. That hurt Oakland, and for San Diego, their defensive backs are so deep lining up, and when that ball is snapped, they are just flying backwards. There's absolutely no way in the world that anybody's going to get behind them, but I think there's all kind of areas in front of them to throw the football. So I look for it. If San Diego does not put pressure on Plunkett, I look for him to throw underneath and be successful.
First and 20. And it is low to Hawkins, incomplete. That will stop the clock. 9:24 left to go in the game. I believe we're the only game that's still underway. So let's check the scoreboard. Everything should be finals.
All right. Pittsburgh defeating Cleveland 32-10. Cincinnati over Denver 38-21. Buffalo down New England 20-17. The Giants in an upset defeated Philadelphia 20-10. It was Detroit 23, Chicago 7. Another final, New Orleans edged Houston 27-24.
The return of Bum Phillips. Second down and 20. Here it is, San Diego 48, Oakland 21. Plunkett throws. He's throwing this one away. Looking at Chandler, they had double coverage on him. And we have some more scores.
Tampa Bay routing Green Bay 37-3. And Kansas City an easy victory over Seattle 40-13. St. Louis downing Baltimore 35-24. That's the 11th loss in a row for the Colts. And the Jets in the last few seconds edged Miami 16-15. Fourth quarter score
still going on.
Dallas leading Washington 17-10. And look here, the LA's come back now. They're ahead of San Francisco 31-30 in the fourth quarter.
Third down and 20. Plunkett throws on the run, has a first down. Bob Chandler.
I said underneath is the place that he's got to go because the secondary is so deep that they do not want to give up 6 points. Take a look here at these defensive backs. They're just flying at the snap of the ball. They're really deep. You're going to see Chandler coming underneath to the right of your screen. Right there. Good throw by Plunkett on the scramble. They're lined up in a hurry-up offense, and I'm sure he's going to get rid of the ball and throw it. Throwing it out of bounds.
Pickup of 27 yards just a moment ago as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
KCST TV, San Diego.
This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. The Chargers way out in front of the Raiders. The margin is 27 points. That is Ray Guy in the jacket. His back has been bothering him. Boy, you can tell. Just for the way he walks. Second and 10 Oakland, San Diego 45-yard line. 8:45 left to go. Plunkett overthrows Cliff Branch.
Flag is down.
And a flag is down. Wyatt Henderson was there. Marker was dropped at about the right 35-yard line.
That's a pretty good throw with that flag by the official. He threw it about 20 yards or 25 yards. That's not easy to do.
Defensive holding, and that will be an automatic first down. A break for the Raiders, but it may be too late.
Holding defense number 32. That's a 5 yards and a first down.
Holding on Wyatt Henderson.
He said no, he didn't do it. But at this stage of the game, it doesn't make any difference what Wyatt has to say, the man in the striped shirt.
Interesting matchup on the yardage and penalties, yardage of penalties, because the Chargers coming into this ball game, the most penalized team in the National Football League.
And also a team that fumbled the most.
Intercepted Pete Shaw. Shaw comes up with his second interception of the ball game. Chandler off of the hands of Bob Chandler, and Pete Shaw has his second interception of the afternoon.
Sort of tells the story of this football game for the Oakland Raiders. Young quarterback Mark Wilson starting the second half threw 2 interceptions early in the third quarter that resulted in touchdowns. Plunkett back to throw. He's trying to hit number 85, Bob Chandler. It goes off his hands into the arms of Pete Shaw, 44, makes a fine interception. And the run back. The Chargers leading 48-21. We'll be back in just a moment.
With his second interception, played his collegiate ball in the Big Ten.
Northwestern.
Yes, where they're having their
Yes.
problems. But Pete's not having his. Bounce wants some more. He goes incomplete through the hands of Kellen Winslow. The Chargers have 48 points, the most points that an Oakland defense has ever given up. 55 points back in 1961, 20 years ago, and that was against Houston.
And they had terrible teams back in 60.
Oh, 60, 61,
yeah.
62. Oh, yes. And they played every place. Ed Luther, the backup quarterback.
This will be the time. I don't know why Dan is really in the game now. Luther would be a good opportunity to put him in the football game because Fauci went back to throw. And what you don't want to happen now is to somebody get a cheap shot like right now.
Pass is complete to Winslow.
Right there.
Bounce is dropped by, was that Ron Martin?
Yes.
Came in on the backside again. Nobody picked him up.
They ought to get him out of there. I know Dan wants to play and he's tough, but they have a rather important ball game coming up next week. Here it is, Dan back to throw. Nobody touches Martin. Gets a clean shot, and Dan ought to be happy that he didn't stick his headgear in his ribs. Next week, San Diego, Denver, so it's kind of an important game for San Diego next week.
Fouts is now thrown for more than 300 yards in this ball game. He hands off to Brooks, and Brooks goes for the first down.
One thing that they have right now is all man-to-man coverage in the secondary by the Oakland Raiders because they have to have everybody up there to stop the run. They're anticipating San Diego is going to try to keep the ball on the ground, in which they did that last time.
Matt Millen with a tackle. The line of scrimmage, the Oakland 45.
Here he comes. Luther's coming in now.
Perhaps they wanted Faust to go over the 300 yards. That's the 9th time this year that he's been over 300 yards.
I don't think Dan doesn't care about statistics. That statistic, the only thing he cares about is winning.
I just thought I'd mention it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
It's not me. It upsets him because I asked him the question about stats. He said, he don't care about them. Maybe he's just fooling me, though.
James Brooks. His momentum will take him to the 41-yard line. Johnny Robinson stopped him there.
And 28 for 45, 296 yards, six.
No, we had him over 300. He just missed it by 4. But the 6 touchdown passes.
And the interception was the one that was batted up in the air, so it really wasn't accountable to him. It's because John Matuzak had that big paw and he stuck it up in the air.
Second down and 7. Brooks left side, first down. He goes to about the 33-yard line.
And McClanahan wants to fight.
A little pushing and shoving and finger pointing. 64 for San Diego's Chuck Laban. 57 for the Oakland Raiders is Randy McClanahan. Now Brooks comes out and Muncie comes into the backfield set.
5:50 counting down in this football game. I'm sure they're going to try to utilize all the clock. This is good experience for young Luther.
He's completed 4 of 9 this season from San Jose State. Taken in the 4th round of the draft a year ago in his second year. Muncie to the 29, picks up 4. Randy McClanahan makes the tackle. He's second down and 6.
Charlie, taking a look at the schedule remaining for Denver. They play San Diego next week. They play Kansas City, Seattle, and Chicago. Kansas City has Detroit Thanksgiving Day. Then they have Denver, Miami, and Minnesota. And for San Diego, they've got, as I said, Denver next week, then Buffalo, Tampa Bay, and Oakland. 3
of the 4 games at home.
So it's hard to say, who has the tougher schedule.
Luther with a screen pass to Cappelletti. Cappelletti to the 20, the 15, the 10. And then out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Randy McClanahan is the man who stopped him as the Chargers knock on the door one more time.
Here it is. Young Luther going back to throw. It's just a screen pass. He's looking downfield, which is good, but he ought to set his feet back there and make it look like it's a pass. But Cappelletti gets a hold of it. Blockers out in front. Number 62 is Masick. Getting a block. Cappelletti taking it down inside the 5-yard line.
For San Diego, that is their 30th first down in the ball game. almost twice as many as the Raiders 17.
And here it is. I know Tom Flores feels badly. The team that was ranked third defensively in the AFC coming into this game.
Here's Cappelletti. Shirt tail tackle by Rod Martin. That held him up. He'll lose a couple of yards. Howard Long brought him down. It'll be second down goal to go. 4.5 minutes and counting. Time remaining in the game.
Muncie coming back into the football game.
Report on Dan Fouts, bruised ribs. He will not return. I have a feeling those bruised ribs have been bothering him throughout the ballgame. I think he had those coming in. I don't think that's anything that happened particularly in this game. That's just, I don't know, all quarterbacks this time of the year have bruised ribs.
Well, the problem is once you get them, you know, they're there because every time you take a hit, no matter where it is on your body, it's going to hurt your ribs. Dan's had a great afternoon. He's had a lot of them.
There's the youngster, Mark Wilson.
Mark Wilson is in the learning process right now.
San Diego takes a timeout. They stop the clock with 3:52 left to go. Wasn't it a pretty good first half, but a disastrous start of the second half. 2 interceptions, 2 quick touchdowns by San Diego. And he also hurt his wrist. We've got a timeout, and time to remind you that tonight on NBC, it's Bob Hope's Stand Up and Cheer for the National Football League's 60th year. An all-star comedy salute to America's #1 spectator sport. An awesome lineup of stars: Elizabeth Taylor, Olivia Newton-John, Roger Staubach, O.J. Simpson, George Allen, Dick Butkus, just to name a few. Footballs and Laughs with Bob Hope tonight at 8 Eastern Time on NBC.
Bob Hope is amazing, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
A man at his age and the energy that he has. What do we have here? The player. They're here to take over, Charlie, I believe.
They're roosting
they
on
must
the
say
scoreboard.
the game's supposed to be over here.
We're under attack by the Seagulls. The Gulls and the Gals. All right, Ed Luther back in the ballgame.
Look at the spring in his step. Tell he's young.
Yes. He hadn't been sacked that many times.
He hasn't been banged in the ribs as many times as Dan Fouts has.
James Brooks, 96 yards rushing on 16 carries. 5 receptions for 36 yards. And a bushel basket of yardage on punt returns, kickoff returns, and that means we don't have that statistic for you. Here's Muncie to about the 3-yard line, where it'll be third down and goal to go. Rod Martin with the tackle.
Final score, Dallas defeating Washington by the score of 24-10. Cowboys undoubtedly will be in the playoffs. Washington will not. Although Washington has played well
they've been better.
the last 6 ball games.
Better second half of the season. Well, they pulled the plug on the Raiders today because they didn't short-circuit anybody.
Not today.
Muncie and Cappelletti in the backfield. Winslow starts one way, changes motion, stops. Muncie's going to throw it, and he's open. 5 touchdown receptions for Kellen Winslow. And we will go into the record book. Touchdown reception.
Pitch out to Chuck Muncie. Was wondering if they could throw, but he doesn't need much of a throw to get it to Winslow, who is all alone in the end zone. Gives a little spike over the back of his head. His 5th touchdown reception of the afternoon. I said in the first quarter that he does make a difference in the passing game of the San Diego Chargers. That was a gross understatement.
Yes. Extra point is good. 55-21.
He has the agility. He's in motion right now. He's moving. Here it is, 46, Chuck Muncie on the move to the right. They're all up playing the run, all alone in the end zone. As you can see, the defensive man of the Oakland Raiders slipped and fell to the turf. 5 touchdown catches. You know, a whole lot of people don't get 5 touchdowns in a season, let alone in one afternoon.
That's true. 55 points. That ties the most points that the Oakland Raiders have ever given up in a season, and that was in 1961 against Houston. 2:59 left to go. The Chargers way out in front.
You heard the cheers of the fans here.
Yes.
It wasn't for Oakland. It's because this is in the San Francisco area. San Francisco has gone ahead of Los Angeles 33-31 with 2 seconds remaining.
Ooh.
San Francisco is really come back this year under Bill Walsh. Not come back. They hadn't been there.
That's true.
They've done a great job.
This is just a little squib type kick. Picked up by Todd Christensen.
I said there were 2 seconds remaining in the San Francisco Los Angeles.
Hank Bauer makes the last tackle.
There it is. It's a final. San Francisco defeating Los Angeles in a seesaw battle, 33-31. And for the 49ers, they defeated the Los Angeles Rams twice this season. And I don't know when you can go back to the last time, if ever, that San Francisco has defeated the Rams both times in the season.
Oakland's ball, their own 42-yard line, 2:52 left to go.
Al Davis.
Been a long season.
Oh, yes. Yeah, but, you know, in defense of Oakland, there's a couple of games that I can think of. The Kansas City game, they're ahead 17-0, and they lost that ball game that they very easily could have won. Another one was a Houston game.
Yes.
That you and I did.
Couple
They
of weeks
very
ago.
easily could have won that football game.
Raymond Chester pulls it down, a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2 at the 50. Pete Shaw and Ray Preston make the tackle.
Ball on the 50. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2.
.244 left to go. A few Charger fans are here.
Doesn't he ever smile? He's got 55 points on the board. Don Coryell, look at the intensity of this man.
Kellen Winslow's 5 receptions for touchdowns in the ballgame ties the record set by Bob Shaw of the Chicago Cardinals on October the 2nd, 1950. So he is in the record book.
And Jim Plunkett is on the turf with a sack.
Wilbur Young and John Woodcock will split that sack.
Wilbur may want to renegotiate his contract. I don't think he had planned on playing the entire football game today. They just got him on waivers from the Washington Redskins. Kellen Winslow, what a day he has had. I think you look at the Chargers, and there's a lot of people that had outstanding days. None better than Kellen, but James Brooks, Dan Fouts, Pete Shaw.
And give credit to that offensive line. Plunkett throws, has a man, hits it. Todd Christensen is out of bounds. 28-yard line of San Diego. That stops the clock. 2:06 left to go. You know, you can always play the game with statistics.
Well, yes, you know,
They can be misleading.
some people say statistics are for losers. Yards passing, the Chargers 317, the Raiders 311. But there are, what, 7 touchdown passes in this football game for the San Diego Chargers. It's that scoreboard at the end of the game. That stat is the one that's really important. It's a good move by Christensen getting out of bounds. Gives one more play before the 2-minute warning.
Plunkett goes deep in zone, has a man. Incomplete. Morris Bradshaw couldn't pull it in. Dan Fouts has thrown for 7 touchdowns in the ball game.
Dan has 7, or
Is that right?
Muncie has 1.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. So
He
Dan has 6 and
Don't
Muncie has
forget about
1.
Muncie, because he's going to remind everybody that he threw the
All
touchdown.
right. 2-minute warning. We'll be back in a moment. NBC Sports is Don Omeyer. The coordinating producer of NFL football is Ted Nathanson. Today's telecast was produced by Micah Weissman, directed by Ted Nathanson, who doubles as our coordinating producer, as I mentioned above. Our TD, our technical director, is Wayne McDonald, and our associate director is Jim Marcione. And there's the rest of the people that made this all possible. Give credit where credit is due.
Hey.
And look down there to see if John Dew is on the list of credits. 2nd and 10, Oakland, 28-yard line of San Diego. Flag is down, and Plunkett is down, and the pass is incomplete.
Wilbur Young is back there once again, putting the heat on Jim Plunkett. I know what Oakland's going through. I can recall when I was playing with the Kansas City Chiefs coming to this stadium, this field, and it was for the division championship and getting completely blown out.
80 was in motion, holding on a defense. We're going to replay it.
Why would the defense be holding? I don't understand that. You know,
It's almost one of those, why not?
You got a 34
Wait a
point
minute,
lead.
look at that shot of Corio. Don, you can smile.
He is
He's in his basic 4-point stance. He is so intense. Nice man, really a nice man.
Yes, I know he is. What's he looking at down there? He's getting ready to go to three-point
It's
stance.
a sweep to the left side.
Remember, Don, when you get to three-point stance, you can't move or you're in motion.
Plunkett, his time throws. The receiver fell. That was Todd Christensen. Slipped to the 4-yard line.
Christensen fell down, but Raymond Chester was wide open on the sideline. Here he is. 2-point stance.
Holding. Come on, Don.
No, he was somebody moved off sides. I think it was Cliff Branch that moved before the snap. He's ahead by
He's at
34 points. He doesn't know the score. It's 34-point lead. 1:49 remaining in this football game.
He does have the ability to isolate each game. If you ask him who they play next week, he has no idea. Who they played last week, he can't remember. He's isolated within separate compartments each week.
Look at Wilbur Young.
And Wilbur picks up the sack.
Wilbur's fired up.
Boy, he is, isn't he? John Woodcock was also there.
Somebody must have stepped on his toes, on his feet. Wilbur doesn't like that.
That's Wilbur Young with the sack.
He and what's Louis Kelcher wears about a 16 or whatever it is.
That's
Wilbur
a
has
lot of foot to step on.
Well, look at that. See, he's got the high tops too. Just think how fast he would be if he got the low cuts.
That is the 6th sack of the ball game for San Diego.
I remember when Wilbur played with the Chiefs, all those big guys like Buck Buchanan and Curly Culp and those people, they all thought they were athletes and wanted to be receivers. And before every practice, they would go out and run pass patterns. And Wilbur thought he was a defensive back guarding him. He couldn't guard anybody, though.
I'm amazed Oakland called a timeout. I don't know why, but it does give us time to remind you that next Sunday, stay with NBC Sports, the race to the playoffs. Bryant Gumbel was started all off with NFL 81 with the highlights, the scores, and then exciting NFL regional action featuring the leaders of the AFC Central, the Cincinnati Bengals. Boy, they're a hot ball club. They'll be taking on the Cleveland Browns, the Battle of Ohio, and Denver is at San Diego. That's the big one in the AFC West. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's next Sunday on NBC Sports.
There's one before that that's very important. Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, yes.
Kansas City is playing Detroit. You'll be able to see it on NBC.
Ah, yes. Looking forward to that. Special pumpkin pie.
You
All
don't
right.
need any, Charlie.
I know.
Make sure you run before and after you eat.
Locale pumpkin pie. I was going to have a special one last week. Last Thanksgiving, it was delivered on Easter, so I'm hoping
Down he goes
for
again.
better results, and that will be the 7th sack of the ball game as Keith Ferguson and John Woodcock stop Plunkett. 4th down and 20. Chargers take over on downs. They simply have to run 1:11 off of the clock, and that would wrap it up.
It's really tough for a quarterback like Plunkett to go back and throw when the defense doesn't care about the run. You know you're not going to run the football, and the big defensive linemen just tee off. The defensive backs line up 25 to 30 yards deep, so you're going to have to throw underneath them. And that takes time to have a pattern develop because the linebackers are back there giving help. They'll concede all those passes over the line of scrimmage.
Is that Rick Smith next to Dan Fouts, the publicity director for
Well,
San
that's
Diego
Oakland's
Chargers?
side. I don't think
No.
Rick would be on that side
No,
of the
I
field.
saw him just a moment ago in the shot. Look, this is 99th ball game. Wanted us to mention it. We told him that we would try and work it in. So we got it in. Now San Diego they'll be content just to run out the clock. John Capoletti gets the call.
There's what is he, the third quarterback now, Muncie. He replaced Kellen Winslow in the throwing department.
Boy, we're digging for notes, but in 1956 and 57, Don Coryell was the head coach at Fort Ord, which is Monterey, nearby the Bay Area.
Fort what, a high school?
No, Fort Ord. That's a military base.
Oh,
When he was in the service.
I see.
So we used up all of our notes for the year. Campoletti. That should wrap it up. 23 seconds and counting, and the San Diego Chargers looking as good as they have since the opening game of the season. Kellen Winslow with 5 touchdown receptions, tying the NFL record. He's in the record book. Dan Fouts, an outstanding afternoon, along with James Brooks. Final 55-21, and we'll be right back to Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in just a moment.